on in. Look at him. He's in the camera right now. He's ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on in to this week's episode of How Are You Getting On? We are joined, of course, by IrishGenesis, and it's the boat riding, sea diving, content electrifying man himself, CaptainSexsea, aka, well, that's his aka. His name is Aaron. Aaron, how are you doing?
Great, Garrett. Thanks for having us on.
You're very close to the camera there.
I'm not used to this podcast stuff. I'm going to just readjust myself. Hold on.
I love it. I love the energy. Listen, Cap, gotta ask you, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm great. I was only saying to Janice beforehand, like, I know I got onto yourself like 6 weeks ago. I was like, I'd love to be on the podcast. So I was only saying as well, I listened to every episode. After the one before you had Jake McBoss on, I've listened to that, and ever since that, I've listened to every single one. I think it's great. You do a great job, and I'm really looking forward to tonight.
I appreciate it, man. Honestly, even on a personal basis here, you know, I never got to chat to you properly, so I think this is a nice little introduction, and not only that, but an introduction for anybody listening in to kind of see the real side of you as well. With that being said, I'll go over to Jenny. How are you getting on this week? How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, Gary. You know, hasn't been the best week. You know, all my bets seem to just keep fucking coming. You know, But it's been a good week, man. I can't lie. I've had a really, really good week. And I'm been looking forward to this. I can't lie. I can't wait to get this man's opinion on a lot of stuff, and find out who the man is behind the old sailor cap. You know?
Yeah, no, exactly. With that being said, Jenny, you've convinced me to do a lot of betting this week. Aaron, with betting and gambling and all, where are you with that? I've only kind of recently got into it. Is it something that you do regularly, or do you just avoid it?
When I was like in college, I loved it. There's some days I wouldn't go to college. There was a Paddy Power right across the road, and you would just spend the whole day in there just betting. You can get really into it. I had my Paddy Power accounts, used to do accumulators every week. Yeah. Every single horse. I used to know all the horses, used to know the being trainers, used to know what they're eating, used to know everything. But then I was really into it. Then you just kind of, I don't know, like I never bet big. I wasn't going out there dropping hundreds, 200s. There's always like small bets, like 5s, 10s, 20s here and there and stuff. Having a bit of banter. But then I think when I started saving for a mortgage, the miss, I was like, all right, come on, we might have to close the accounts, because they kind of go through your bank details to see if you got gamma. I was like, it could affect it. So I was like, yeah, no problem. Close everything down. And then I just got out of it for years and years. I just literally just kind of got out of the habit. It wasn't really a habit, but just kind of got out of the kind of usual of doing it. And then the odd time, like for example, Cheltenham popped up. I said, fuck it, I'll put a few bets on Cheltenham and stuff like that. So I just kind of do it the odd time now here and there. But I think it's great when you're doing it. I think it's fun. Just obviously everyone bet responsibly and whatnot.
Yeah,
of course, it's very possible to say.
Bet responsible is 100%. You're dead right there, pal. Because I tell you, it's a fun game when you know your limits, and when you can always expect to lose. When you put on a bet, you think, right, I've lost that. You know what I mean? Just you put your money out, that's gone. Yeah. And with the off chance, then you might look back an hour or two later and be like, oh, jeez, lovely, a couple of $100. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's the way it should be. You know what I mean? Yeah. But no, 100% it is. Gamble responsibly, boys. Yeah.
Like you hear stories of lad, like they get their wages and they go straight to the bookie with their wages for that week or that month, and they're gone like that. Yeah. And it's just, you hear horror stories. Whatnot. I've been to Vegas like 4 times as well, and like I love going over there playing blackjack, roulette, craps. It's just so much fun. But I'll always just set like a set amount aside before I go over and go, this is my kind of little betting pool. Use that. And then just kind of play off the winnings and off that as well. But like, it's great. Like, it is good. As long as you do it responsibly, as you said, like, it is really, really fun to do. Like,
yeah.
That topic, actually, before you go, Garrett, on that topic, Vegas, what's that like?
It's the best place. It's like Disneyland for adults. It's absolutely insane. It's just really? It's just one of those things you just gotta go to experience. The movies and all don't do it justice. It's just a whole different world. But it's just the characters of all the people there, all around the world, and just people who like live in America, and like they'll go over there for the weekend. It's just mental. It's just, you meet the best people. You see the weirdest stuff you'll ever see in your life, and just being in the hotels, the scenery, the lights. It's just wow. It's just crazy. I highly recommend it if you ever get a chance to.
You're lighting up Jenny's eyes there. I can see, because I know he's trying to get over there himself.
Yeah, I tell you, no, that's the thing. Like, obviously, we're planning on obviously going over to see a couple of the lads we know from online. But they're in Kentucky, so and it's a fair trip from Kentucky to Vegas. Like, but yeah, I never know. I might win the lotto during this year. You know what I mean? And you know, we can.
It's not that expensive to go to. Like, to get to Vegas, it's not that. You'd be surprised when you look up flights, and hotels as well are fairly cheap. Like, you find some hotels. Like I always stayed in the Luxor. Luxor's like dirt cheap. But flight's over, you find it a good time. Like you just pay a couple of $100 return and you're laughing. Like it's actually not that expensive.
I figure if we're over there, if it's not too, obviously it's the time though, isn't it? When we're over there, like you can obviously fly from Kentucky then to Vegas, but obviously like I'd rather be the type to actually drive it because you get to see so much more and you'd be going through so many states. Like then you got to think to yourself, well, how many days is that going to take out your actual trip in a sense? So I definitely we still haven't even 100% even talked about what we're going to do when we get there and all. So, but you never know. I might have to make my way down, even for a cheeky selfie. You know what I mean? Just
you got to stream that as well, man. You definitely got to stream that. You cannot go over there now, especially with like an audience and stuff, man. That would be crazy content. I actually wondered did they have anything in the casinos about recording? They probably have something, do they? Do you know anybody's
I don't. Yeah, you can't. No, you can't in the actual casino itself on the game floor. You can't actually kind of have your phone out because obviously cheating and stuff like that. And they're very so you can't really. You gotta be very sus with your phone. You can't just be on like the craps table or like the blackjack table, take your phone out, and start taking selfies or going fucking TikTok and flick through while you're waiting for your bet to come through and stuff. Nah, they're pretty fucking strict on it. Like someone will come over and go, hey, just kind of put it away and whatnot.
I'm sure there was a thing with Dana White when he was in one of the casinos, and he was on his phone at a table, and apparently he got asked to leave over it. I'm nearly sure. I'm nearly sure there was an article on that one of the casinos, because he was kicked out of another casino for winning too much money. They actually they gave him his money and told him to get out, like, which they can do. By like the casino, if the casino feel like you're taking too much, they have every right to say, see you later. You know what I mean? So, but I'm nearly sure there was a thing about Dana being on his phone at a table, and they asked him to leave the casino.
That's mad, man.
It's mad, isn't it? Especially who he is. You think, who he is and stuff. But I suppose it doesn't matter how big you are. Rule plays for everyone. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good to see it across the board. But yeah, no, like I said, I'm gonna get into recently as well. I'm trying to keep my distance from it slowly. Like I'm like, I know you said it already, Aaron, where it's like, I want to just make back what I put in. Like I put in a tenner recently. I get the tenner back. I'm good. I take out the money and vibing. That's kind of what I'm going with. But yeah, obviously, guys, gamble aware and be careful what you do with it. But listen, once again, super excited to have you on. I keep calling you Captain. I gotta start calling you Aaron here.
Just do it. Hey, mate, just do it. Just call me whatever. Like, they're listening on Spotify. They don't know what I'm dressed in. I'm just gonna make it for all they goddamn care.
Yeah. Spotify users, he is naked. Yes. But listen, I gotta ask you, how was your week? What have you been up to? What's the life of Aaron like?
Pretty busy. Like, so 9 to 5. Monday to Friday is just 9 till 5:30 full-time job. I'm lucky enough anyway that I'm working from home still. Like my office isn't even too far away. It's only about a half-hour drive, but they're pretty cool anyway at the moment. They're saying it's kind of, as long as you're getting the work done, you're kind of happy enough. So I've been at home 9 to 5, and then I obviously got the kid to look after. I got a 11-month-old, then the missus. So it's kind of just normal routine Monday to Friday. And then obviously on the Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays we stream, so that's like 8:30 to like sometimes 1-2 in the morning. And then it's just kind of that routine Monday to Friday. And weekend we kind of just try to do some more family things, take her out, go to like the parks, go to the zoos, do some family stuff. But I actually got a stag party this Saturday, one of my best mates, so looking forward to that now. That'll be a bit of banter.
Yeah,
there we go.
I was gonna say you've a lot going on, and obviously having your nights out and your time away is obviously fantastic when you can. But I know Jenny always tells me about this as well. But like streaming and having a life at home and having kids and having a relationship, it's a massive juggle at the end of the day. How do you find time to do that? I mean, you stream as well sometimes late into the night. Do you ever feel like you're kind of stressed with all that's going on, or are you just kind of set in your schedule now?
No, I'm very hard. I've never ever get stressed. It's very, very hard to get me stressed. I'm very, very laid back, easy going. It's kind of, if you enjoy it and you got a passion for it, you don't really see it as being exhausting or being work. You get I come to my job, get me 9 to 5 done, then baby's in bed by 7. Then if I'm not streaming day, me and the missus will chill, watch Netflix and whatnot. Then if she goes to bed early, I'll probably go in, do some content editing and stuff like that. So just trying, then if I'm streaming I'm up to maybe 1 or 2, then I usually have a cool down for like an hour. I don't really just jump straight into bed after a stream. It takes me about a little while just to kind of, because I'll be sweating. I won't lie, man. This room I'm in, this is a 4x4 cabin. And I said to them when they're building it, like, don't put any windows in, and they didn't. and this thing has no ventilation whatsoever. So we got the two PCs running. It is so fucking hot. And I will legit, it's like I played a 90-minute fucking football match. There's actually football matches I played, and I've been more sweaty after stream than football matches. And I'll be just buckets of sweat coming off me, drenched. And I have to literally just sit outside or go out into the kitchen, just open the back door, have the breeze coming in me, lie there for about half an hour to an hour, get some food, and then I go to bed. Sometimes not going to bed till like 3 or 4 in the morning, then I'm up again, maybe around 8:30, 9 to start the day again and stuff. So yeah. So this is a crap, but you know what I mean? You got to put the work in it to make it if you want to make it, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
definitely.
It's true.
I love his setup because you can see it now without the with the greens. He's got the green floor and the whole lot, man.
That's only that was fairly well. It's maybe about 2 months old. But I used to have a really long curtain. It used to come along there, but then you'd be standing on the curtain and it just kind of messes things up. So I got that, and it's been a lot handier, and I like it. But
yeah, no, I love the vibes, the look, like, you know what I mean? It's even when you haven't got the green screen on, like, you know, got a little bit of Caribbean vibes there off you. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what though, green screen is the most biggest pain in the arse thing in the effing world. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm allowed to swear.
No, you can't swear away. Go for it, man. Go for it.
Yeah. But green screen is the biggest. If you want to do green screen, well, it's the biggest pain in the bollocks. Like trying to get, you have to get all the lights right. Lighting is the biggest pain. Like I've had like professional, well, like there's people in my stream, like there's a guy, he's from Netherlands, like professional photographer, videographer. And I had him on there and he used to send me diagrams of how the lighting should be. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 lights plus then the ceiling lights and stuff like that. And it's just trying to position them all to get the best thing because you don't want all that shadow effect. You want everything to look as crisp, professional, as clear as possible, create that illusion. So, but it's a pain. Like that's
kind of like I don't know if you know him. He's a gambling streamer, Rushdie. He you ever see his as well, man? His is nuts. His is nuts. Like he has lights in that you'd have in a movie set. You know what I mean? Like proper fucking 10-foot yolks and all.
Yeah.
But he's similar to you. He has the green on the floor. He's green. Like it's amazing though that the amount of time. Like honestly, obviously, this is the question for you: is that how long did it take you to like get it all together? Like between, as you said, during the logs, so you obviously had that built and everything else. Like how long did that take for you to actually get it to where you want it?
Well, it wasn't always in the log. I was like in for a good, maybe a good year at least. I was just in like a little 3x4 room, and I'll just have like the room was just green screen to bits. It was so messy. I had the room in tatters. Then obviously we knew the baby was coming. I was like, crap, like obviously this could be the baby's room. I was like, grand. So I invested in this thing. I moved everything here, but it's just it's a process. Like if you look at like nearly the day one streams and just go from there and just see how like the progression of the quality and whatnot. Like nothing's 100% when you start off. You always think you're good, and then you always try to improve it little by little, little by little, little by little. Like even now, like I'm trying to improve things little by little, little by little. But it's like, as I said, I'm 2 years streaming, and it's probably taken me like close to like a year and a half to like get everything to where I'm actually like I'm pretty satisfied at this moment in time. But there's still things I like to get. Like I like to get rid of that curtain. I like to get maybe instead. I have like the Elgato. I think you have the Elgato pull-up screen, don't you, Gara?
I actually don't, man. I have a big, massive feckin' yoke. I have a blue screen sheet and I have a green screen sheet, and I just push them across. I have a little thing on top that kind of connects it together. But yeah, the Elgato ones are so handy the way you can lift them up. But there's not one big enough for me to justify it without buying 2 or 3 of them, and that's my thing.
Like I have the one here on my side, which I pull up, and that kind of covers this kind of side angle thing. But realistically, I'd like to get another 2 or 3 where I could take out the curtain. Because if I had to go outside the house, like I got like behind the curtain and it gets all messy, it's a pain in the bollocks. So like I'm trying to hold in pisses for like the whole stream just because this solve myself the issue. I'm having to go into the house and do it, and then to come back in and fix the curtain. It's a bollocks, but it takes a while to set all this crap up. Like, and you know what I mean? If you wanted to make it look good, you got to put in the time for it as well, you know?
Yeah. I think it shows your passion as well, and that's a mindset that I feel like I have, and it's so productive. Is always wanting to improve yourself and your stream. That's only something that comes from being passionate about a project, where you're always looking at yourself and you're like, okay, what can I do better? What's the next improvement? What's the next thing to look towards? So that's really good, and I mean, obviously it shows with your content. But with that being said, you know, you're this highly entertaining figure called CaptainSexsea. Before this though, you were just Aaron. So what was life like before wrestling and the streaming career?
Before wrestling? So before wrestling, so that's about pre-2016, because I've been wrestling ever since about 2016. Just football, just your standard lad. I'd just be working. I think I was in college at the time, so just college. Then just football every I just play Saturday, so football every Saturday, training during the week. Just normal, just nothing to be excited, to be honest with you. Just had my group of mates. I had the girlfriend. Usually went out to like a night, like kind of every weekend, when I play a football match, and if the lads were out, we'd go with the lads. Everyone had misses at the time, I'll bring the misses. Just standard. It wasn't anything like special or like crazy. It wasn't like I was doing any like stand-up comedy or like escorting or anything like that. You know what I mean? Just standard, just me. Just to know how my lads playing the football and all. Nothing exciting, yeah.
So wrestling came. There must have been definitely a rumor floating about that you were escorting for you to come out and be like, I wasn't escorting.
I wish, man. I could have made big bucks.
Yeah, you came out with that one fairly sharp. But so then I have to.
The listeners.
Yeah. I have to ask you though. Then where does the transition go to wrestling? Like where does that start?
Yeah, so I think everybody when they were younger at one stage, during like the Rock Stone Cold, I think everybody watched wrestling as a kid growing up and what. I'm sure Genesis, you were probably similar enough age to myself and stuff. You probably know your thing, don't you? Like
hooked. I'm like that was actually. I'll let you finish first because I have a good couple of questions on the so go ahead. I'll let you finish.
One thing, everybody at one stage grew up watching it, the Rock Stone Cold. Then everybody went off. Everybody like you're in your teenage years, it's uncool. But then when I was back in college, I don't know why, I was just flicking through TV one day in my room and like I saw it and I was like, oh, just watch it. And I was like, then it was on again. I was like, I'll watch it again. I really got back into it, got invested. I was like, oh, cool. I was watching it online. I was watching the pay-per-views. And there were some other people in college had an interest in it as well. I was like, oh, no, cool. We'll go in with chat about it. And then it was just randomly, I don't know what happened. I was just flicking through Facebook one day and it was like opening day wrestling training school in Ireland this Thursday. It's like, what? I was like, really? It's like, that's kind of a weird coincidence. And I was like, fuck it. I just went on my own. Didn't know where, this middle of fucking, where was it? It was a bad place anyway. And just Ballyfermot. It was in Ballyfermot.
Yeah.
Just went to this weird industrial site on my own. Didn't have a goddamn clue what I was doing. Didn't know anyone there before. I just went and just did the open day. And ever since that, I just got into it. I was like, nah, this is fun. I just went more and more, got a passion for it. And I got really invested because when I do something like and I really like it, I get really invested. And I just get tunnel vision. I just get tunnel vision on it and just 100% focused and just did it. And then I did it for like the good nearly 5 years. Well, 4 years or so. And then COVID came. Then obviously I stopped after COVID and stuff like that and then got into streaming. But that's kind of the short synopsis.
During that 5 year term you did it, right? Did you ever think to yourself, right, I could be like fucking Sheamus, Finn Balor, fucking Becky Lynch, all them kind of. You never think to yourself, that's what I want to be. Like I could get.
Nah, I knew my I knew my lane. I knew straight up. I wasn't like falsely ambitious, going I can be in the WWE. Like I kind of knew my role. Like you see lads and like there's guys.
I think even more NXT.
Yeah, there's lads there like there's lads out there in England. You see them, they're fucking amazing. These guys are athletic. They're doing double backflips. They're doing all this crazy goddamn shit. I was just a simple comedy act. I was only weighing about 165 like pounds at the time, like so I was like, they're not gonna like. I'm my age as well. Tom's like, there's nothing here that I do that like WWE are gonna go like, you know what, we need him. So it's always like kind of I was like cool. I could probably do it. I could probably have a decent run in like the independent scene, which I did. I got brought over to England, had a couple of matches over in England and whatnot, and did pretty well over in Ireland. I was on the biggest shows, I wrestled in front of like 2,000-3,000 people and stuff like that. So I did really well. But I was just always a kind of a funny comedy act because I found a niche. Nobody ever did comedy in wrestling, or very few did. Everyone wanted to go out there. They wanted to be like the Conor McGregor of wrestling. I'm Danny the Beater Johnson and whatnot, shit like that. Nobody was doing characters. I always thought you needed a wrestling character because I grew up in that era. I was like, you're not supposed to be like a character. I didn't know I could just wrestle as like Aaron. You know what I mean? But I felt nobody was doing characters, so the niche was there, and then I was managed to kind of get my way into things easy and just worked hard. And then comedy as well. Nobody wanted to do comedy. Everyone wanted to be serious. Everyone wanted to be like just like a rock star. And like I was like there, like putting swim hats on my head, flying into people's like penises and moves and stuff like that. Like swear to God, man, it was called the super sexy slip and slide and all, man. People loved it. They went crazy for it. But that was it. Like I swear down, man. I have to show you the video of it one day. But it's
no, I need to see that finisher name is 100%
too good.
My custom character in WWE. I don't even care. CaptainSexsea slip and slide.
Yeah, it's even funny the way you're describing it, Aaron. Like the way you're like. It's almost like you fell into it, and like you seen it one day, you're like, "I'll give that a go." Like it's such a casual way of saying it, but you know, you've really thrown yourself into it. And I know you said you tunnel vision into things, and you know that can be good, obviously, in a lot of ways. That you know you get a passion for something, and that's your main focus. But it's kind of crazy how. Like, just the way you're wording it so casually, like, I was expecting something like, I was watching it and I'd done athletics when I was younger, I did wrestling and all, and you're just like, I seen it on Facebook, and I was like, I'll hop into that. Like, it's mad.
It is like, and I'm not athletic in any way. Like I can do like I'm pretty agile. I'm agile, but I'm not athletic. Like athletic in the terms like I can't go around like doing backflips. I can't like do front flips. I can do like somersaults and whatnot, but like there's kids out there, you see them like, what the fuck are they doing? Like I can't do this shit. And I knew my lane and stuff like that. But I like to capitalize on like some of the best wrestlers in the world. Like don't be the ones to be out there doing flips. Like if I can slide into someone's penis and know I'm going home safe and get a bigger ovation than someone who jumps off the top rope, does a triple backflip, risking breaking their neck every single night, and all I have to do is literally slide it across someone's back and then land on someone's penis in a turnbuckle. I'm like, I'm fucking winning. I've hacked it. You know what I mean? It's working smart. I'm working smart, not hard. I go home. I do like I'm not her. I do fuck all. Kids are going out there killing themselves. I'm barely getting golf claps. I fucking so the thing, I'll describe it to you. So basically, like you have your turnbuckle. So one guy, for the Bronco Buster, where like where someone's like they're in the turnbuckle, they're lying down.
Yeah.
And so his legs would be open. We're in a tag team. So my tag team partner, kind of close enough to them, would go on all fours like that. I can't really say it like that because it's Spotify. It's basically to go on all fours, all right?
Yeah.
And then I'll be in the other corner. I'll put a swim hat on and I'll shake my hips, go super sexy, slip and slide. And the whole crowd would be saying it. And I'll slide across this person's back because we're both sweaty at the time. I'll slide across his back and get momentum. And like a fucking dart, I'll go head first in between your man's legs and boom, right there, catch him. Right in the dick. But it's so funny. The first time I ever did it, the first show I ever did, I swear to God, I took too much momentum and I went into it too fast. I hit the guy's balls so hard that it actually cut his dick.
Oh,
his dick was actually bleeding. And that's no joke. The very first time I did it in a show, I went in too hot, like so hot. Like after that, I was like, okay, I have to I kind of learned, you learn as you go. But his dick was actually bleeding. He went back. It was so
man.
Who needs an RKO when you have that? Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
it reminds me of like Rikishi's finisher in a way. He used to put his ass face. That's what it reminds me of. Just kind of the other side of it. But man, that's so fucking funny.
Crazy,
oh
really.
my god, Jenny. Here's a question for you. If you were a wrestler, Jenny, what would your alias be?
Oh Christ, yeah. That's a good one, actually. That I'd have to go in some deep thinking for that, like, because if I was to compare myself to what I would have loved to be in a wrestling term to another superstar, I'd be like CM Punk was my idol. Like I fucking loved CM Punk. Everything he did, no matter how fucking sly or sleazy it was, he just everything he done, I loved about him. I don't know. I'd definitely have to sit down with no notepad and pen. I wouldn't be able to come off the top of my head.
I'll have to get back to you on that one, man. I feel like you'd have a really good answer as well.
Yeah, no, I definitely think I get back to that. But insane, actually, it's just before we get any further. Who was your favorite growing up? That's the question I wanted to ask you. Who was your favorite wrestler when you were growing up? As you said, you were addicted to us all. Who would you be like, oh my god, he better be fighting tonight?
Oh, I love The Rock. Back when I was obviously a kid growing up, I loved The Rock. I thought The Rock was the bee's knees. I loved him. I just obsessed with him. He was fantastic. Then when I got back into wrestling, obviously he wasn't there anymore. It was like the Daniel Bryan era. It was I think it was the build up to WrestleMania 30. They're doing yes, it was the yes chant era. Yes, I was so invested in it. It was such a good storyline. The whole build up was fantastic. It was one of the best WrestleManias then. He gets the big win, the big payoff at the end. I was like,
the underdog.
It was one of the best underdog stories WWE done it in a long time. And it was just I just got in there at the perfect time, and I was just so invested. I was like, fuck, man, I fucking love this. Daniel Bryan, he's the best. And he would have been definitely that time. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I thought it was great.
Did you actually watch WrestleMania? Just gone.
I watched night one, and I fell asleep around 4:30, so I missed the Stone Cold Kevin Owens match. Then night 2 I was in work the next day, so I watched the majority of it. Like I saw the Johnny Knoxville, Sami Zayn match. That was brilliant.
So good.
Yeah. That's great. And I thought the Logan Paul match. I thought Logan Paul match stole the show. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. Watching from a wrestler's point of view, he was just when you're watching from a wrestler's point of view, you know what to look for in terms of footwork, movement, selling, everything. He just for somebody, I reckon he probably did 2 months max training, if even, maybe even a month.
That's insane. That and on that topic, to pull off doing the triple to Rey Mysterio, like taking his move and doing it to him, or taking Eddie Guerrero's old style move and doing it in such good, like he done it so well. Everything, you know, the way you have to get that flip right with the other guy, you have to get the flip right, and he has to come so you don't obviously fucking snap his neck. You know, everything he done, I was actually very, very surprised. Because I was thinking to myself, I don't know if this is going, because especially when you're in a ring with someone of Rey Mysterio's legacy, like, you know, one of the best to ever do it, you know. But no,
Yeah.
honestly, I couldn't believe it in myself. Like, but I think it was a really good matchup to give him the Miz as a partner because I feel like
Miz is the best in the business.
yeah,
Miz is absolutely
yeah,
fantastic when it comes to stuff like that. He's one of the most always. I don't even call him underrated, but he's not even underrated because he's done so much. But
I know, yeah, it's done a lot.
he's just absolutely fantastic at what he does. He just understands it. He's just so good. He's one of those people that work smart as well. He's never injured because he doesn't do stupid flips.
Yeah.
He knows he could just go on the mic, get the same reaction as doing stupid other things, stuff like that.
Brings everything though, because he's not only just athletic and he can do that kind of stuff, but he also has that actor style to him. Like he knows it was like that when he brought out the Miz TV and went with that for a couple of months. Everything he'd done or everything he touches just turned to gold in a sense.
He just gets it, you know what I mean? Some people just get it, and he's just one of those people that he just gets it. He just knows and just gets it. He just understands.
100%.
All
right.
Yeah. Now wrestling, like I was in it for a while, but like when I was growing up, I was all about like Brock Lesnar and Rey Mysterio. They were my two.
Yeah.
Like that.
You came in a different era.
Yeah, I did, slightly different, but yeah, like the biggest moment ever for me was like when Brock Lesnar he put Big Show through the ring.
Yes,
dude,
it snapped in half.
That was incredible. I've never seen it like that in my life. Since then, I kind of follow the path of wrestling, and I was a big part of it. But I feel like a lot of people took the same route I did, where they watch wrestling and then they got to that age of like 13, 14, 15, where they're like, I don't know if this is my gig anymore. But through that, discovered UFC and mixed martial arts, and it was like an upgrade to the the realist side of it. So I went straight over to the UFC. I was watching Forrest Griffin and some of the boys early on, and I was like, man, this is insane. Like, I can't believe this is actually real. And so it was like an adrenaline jump from, you know, the adrenaline of watching WWE over to UFC. It was like a boost, and I was like, I don't know if I can go back anymore. But a lot of people, like you're saying as well, Aaron, in college, a lot of my mates went back into wrestling as well. I don't know, I think it was just a curiosity to see kind of the state of how it went after a long time of kind of being away from it.
Yeah, it definitely. There seems to be like an age gap where it's like it becomes uncool, but then it seems to be like, oh no, this is kind of fun to watch again, kind of thing. Definitely is like a period in your life. Yeah, obviously, like because you're saying they're like, oh, girls don't like guys who like watch wrestling and stuff like that. You're like, I don't watch wrestling. I watch UFC. And you're going around with those. What's the t-shirt called? What was the fucking jumpers everybody used to wear again?
Venom.
No, it's the UFC one. Fuck, tap out. Everyone's going on
Tap
tap
out, yeah.
too. Everyone's going, I'm tap out. It's like, oh, he must be hard. He must fight. Wow, take me now. Take me in your arms.
The boys leaving. Yeah, that's literally what the boys leaving a fucking chess match going into Elbreeze for the tap out gear.
Yeah.
100%. Like,
it's so true though.
Crazy.
There was definitely a thing where you didn't want people to know that you watch wrestling. 100%. I was there as well. I was like, I don't know if this is cool anymore, trendy to even talk about, but we've a lot to talk about it in terms of wrestling, obviously. But I gotta ask you, you know, Aaron, you've took, with your streaming career at least, you took a big liking to Call of Duty. Was gaming a big part of growing up for you?
100%. Oh, I love gaming. It wasn't just one of those things when like COVID came in. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a gamer now. I loved it. I actually gamed all my life. I used to play. I was religious to FIFA. Like I've got I'm like a foot squad member from like I think 10 or 09 or something like that. I think I'm like a year or two below like founder.
Yeah.
So I was every single year played FIFA. Loved it. Then this one day, I think it was this before FIFA. Let's remember one. I used to always play games anyway. Just loved it. I always had to play. I had every single PlayStation. Well, my friend came out to my house one day. Goes, you know, you could play online and talk to people. Shut the fuck. I'm like, shut the front door. He's like, yeah, watch this. Hooks my PlayStation up to the Wi-Fi. He brings me. It was called Ghost Recon at the time.
Yeah.
He brought in a headset. He's like, watch this. And there's like Americans on there, and I was just like, what the fuck? I was like, you mean I could talk to this guy? And I was like, yeah, you play. You're like, oh my God, it was like revolution. I was like, this is the best thing ever. And I just came in. It was like, he probably ruined my life in fairness. Like, I just fuck school, fuck everything. I was like in bed by 10 every single night at that time. And now I'm up to like 2 a.m. every night, just fucking chatting shit down these mics to like all these lads, playing this game all the time. I was like, wow, it just changed my life. And ever since then, I just absolutely love more. Single player games or just like non-online games, I just can't play. I just can't do them. I just don't like them. I'm just addicted to multiplayer. And just knowing that I'm playing against actually somebody else and not just a computer. And there's the unpredictability of I don't know what this person might can do and there's mistakes that can happen. I just loved it. Like I always played FIFA. I always played Call of Duty as well. I like to play Call of Duty a lot. like since 2013, and then so yeah, like playing Warzone for me is like I really really enjoy doing it. I used to play FIFA a lot, but I don't know, like just the FIFA that's foot champs. I only ever play foot champs, but I feel like if you don't kind of, you have to go into that pay to win kind of mentality, but you gotta invest a lot of money if you really want to be good into it and stuff like that. And I was for a while, like back in 2020 when COVID really hit in. That's how I got into streaming. I started watching streamers. I started watching all the big FIFA streamers. Like at the time was like hashtag Harry, hashtag Tom. Used to love on Friday nights. Friday days, just I know hashtag Tom at the time would do was 30 games on like the Fridays and stuff like that. Like fuck it, yeah, Twitch on in work at the same time, have them on there in the background, watch him play. Got really invested. I loved it. Then I got my game monitors. I'm like, you know what, I'll give streaming a try as well. I think I used to stream FIFA at the start, and I got into Warzone because I was like, oh no, I'm actually really, really enjoy Call of Duty and I really love the game. And ever since that, I just kind of really stuck at it. And yeah, no, it's working out well. It's a very oversaturated market, but I kind of do have a belief if you want to grow a community or kind of grow your stream at the start, I think it is important that you spend at least 85% of your time on one particular game. I think bouncing from game to game to game, it's very, very difficult to grow and grow your audience around. Because when you bring people in, for example, if you're like doing, okay, Mondays I'll do Fortnite, Tuesdays I'll do Warzone, that, you might pull someone in on Monday or a couple of people that you're playing Fortnite. It's like, oh, this guy's playing Fortnite. I'll watch him. I'll see what he's doing. They watch it. Then they say, oh, I'll tune in the next day. They see you're playing Warzone. It's like, I don't like Warzone. And they forget about you, you know what I mean? Where if you're kind of keeping the same game consistently, they're gonna, you get that guy coming in, he's playing Warzone the next day. He's like, oh, he's playing Warzone again. I'll watch him. Next thing you know, you're building up a relationship. You build the relationship. That's what keeps bringing people back and back and back and back. And that's how you grow your stream kind of gradually. And eventually they keep coming. They become a valuable member of your community. And like, oh no, I like this guy. You know what I mean? He's good. He's good at the game. He's a nice guy and stuff like that. I'll keep coming back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you're not playing, then eventually you can come to that stage where they're so invested in you. You got to invest. Like once they're invested in you, then you have the ability to go to a different game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to get them into you and form that relationship with you and get them into you. It's like, oh no, like I like this guy now, but you got to hook them in with the game first and then build a relationship. Then you can kind of fiddle around to different games and whatnot. And they'll follow you anyway. It's like, oh, I like this guy. Let's see what he does on Fortnite. Let's see what he does on Elden Scrolls or Elden Ring. And that's how you kind of, that's the kind of synopsis of how that's my mentality. Like obviously there's probably use case for everything, but that's my kind of approach to how I kind of see.
I definitely agree with you, like, because there has been stages where like it all depends, as I said, like if you have your own like kind of tight knit community of say 30, 40 people, yeah, and they'll watch you no matter what you do. It's always nice to have that balance, but as you were saying, to bring in new attraction and to keep that new attraction, I definitely find that from switching from game to game, which I've noticed people have come in and they've been there for like 3 or 4 hours watching me play one game, and you know, then the next day I'd be on something else and you wouldn't see them again. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they probably did come in that I don't like this game. So it's definitely, you're dead right in that sense. But as I like, for yourself, do you feel like, you know, you're at a stage now though where you can literally play anything and you'll continue to just kill it?
I've tried it and I've proved. I reckon if I could play a different game, I'll still hold maybe 80 to 75% of my community from COD.
Yeah.
And because I have got people, I've streamed for so long, so consistently, that I feel like my community is pretty. As I said, Gareth, you know yourselves. I mean, you get community people. You always see the same faces there each and every single time. They're there for you and to support you at the end of the day. And they start not really caring about the game, so you know you can kind of flex your muscles elsewhere. You can go try WWE, you can go try Fortnite, try other games, and know they're kind of come in with you and stuff like that. Now we kind of start, even if you play the game like all the time, they probably still will, but you will always get that certain percentage that will end up, I like this guy, but I really like him when he plays this game. But if he's not playing, I will not. I'm like that. For example, like I'll watch a lot of big streamers. Obviously Dr. Disrespect's a big inspiration of mine and stuff like that. Hint, hint. But when he's playing other games, I don't really watch him when he's playing other games. He's playing Fortnite, I'm like, I'm not really interested. If he's playing Call of Duty, I'm like, oh, no, I'll kind of book it in. I'll sit back, get myself some dinner. I'm like, I'll watch him, see what he's doing. Or he's playing like Elden Scrolls. I'm like, nah, I'm not into that. So like some people will always be like that. It's like just they like watching you play a particular game, and I mean, not everybody's the same. So yeah, it's kind of a catch
it is
doing a little bit.
No, you're dead right. Like it's definitely, I definitely see that. With just someone with yourself though, is that I find like when I watch your stream, it wasn't the game that attracted me to you, it was your character and how much power and just how much like you were just there, you know what I mean? You were just there, like, you know, when you catch someone, like, you know, when you go into a stream and someone's like sitting there gaming, they're like, all right, how are you? You know, and they're real quiet. But when you go into you're like, how are you doing? And you're proper like in your face. That's what attracts
Yeah, it's an entertainer. Yeah,
Exactly. That's the word, and entertainer. Like that's what I felt anyway when I watched it. Because I was like, this guy's fucking mad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's straight up like this guy's a mad bastard. Like, and I love mad bastards. So.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think it's just as well. Like, I think we're in the worst possible time ever now. If you want to grow a channel, you're in the hardest possible time because everyone is so spoiled with content and short form content that everyone's attention span is so it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Like even YouTube, nobody really sits there and watches a 10-minute YouTube video. Want to see less
TikTok
time. Yeah, it's all TikTok. You just want to see 10
seconds on TikTok.
So you got to think about if someone comes in your stream, you're trying to grab them for like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
When they come into your stream, you have to hook. They probably give you 10 seconds of their time. It's like, impress me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't even know you don't even know they're there. They might just come into your stream, click in and go, let's see what this guy can do. Let's see, can he entertain me? Is he going to be enough to make me sit down and go, oh yeah, like I'm gonna watch this guy. So you got to kind of keep that in the back of your mind. So you kind of always got to be chatty. You got to kind of keep the energy up high. I think as well, COVID was probably the worst, but best thing also for streamers. It's like, it's so saturated. And technology as well. Everybody is a streamer. You can buy an Xbox or a PlayStation and a click of a button, you can be live like that. The ability to stream now is so easy compared to a couple of years. So anybody with internet connection can now stream. So you're competing against like a pool load of people. Like there's like thousands, millions of people you're trying to compete against. Like,
it's not even just a one platform anymore either. Like, you know, so like you've got Twitch versus YouTube, and now people can go live on TikTok. Yeah. There's people that actually don't they stream only on TikTok. They don't like they do everything you do on Twitch, but they're doing it on TikTok. So it just shows you how crazy, how versatile that whole scene is becoming.
Yeah. Let me give you a little. I did a little research there. I love numbers because at the end of the day, numbers don't lie, and I love stats. And I think first of all, I think Twitch is fantastic because after a stream, you can see the statistics of your stream, and you can see where was your high and where did everyone start dropping off, or where did it come in. You can go back to that stream and see what point. And go, what did I do there that maybe lost people's attention and whatnot? It's fantastic. But there's numbers at the end of the day don't lie. Like I was looking up numbers today just because I thought it was kind of good to get an insight in it. Like over the last month, the average viewership for Warzone was 48,000 and the average channels live was 3,000. Now you think about this for a second, all right? So 10 of the biggest channels in Warzone are probably like all the professionals. 10 of the biggest channels are probably pulling in 20,000 of those viewers, all right? So that leaves about 28,000 still for 3,000 channels, all right? And then you got to think how many of those channels already belong to community, those viewers, okay? Right? Maybe another 10, 15,000. So that's leaving maybe another 15,000 just for another 3,000 streamers. So that's average maybe 1 out of 5. For every streamer, 5 viewers. So you're competing against 3 other channels. Draw in 15,000 people. Now, 15,000 seems a lot. When you're against 3,000 other channels, like that's a lot of channels. You really got to focus now on really seeing how can my stream stand out? How can I beat the guys next to me in that list when that viewer's clicking through? How can I get this person to click on my stream, and how can I get them to stay there? It's like, unfortunately, so streaming isn't what it was a couple of years ago. We could stick the webcam on and just sit there, play games. It's just so oversaturated. You really got to start thinking outside the box. But at the same time, it doesn't mean you got to go stick a fucking captain's hat on and green screen the fucking thing, go fucking full guns blazing. You got to just think and just see, what can I do different? Or what is my strategy or strengths that can make people come in and make myself stand out from the 3,000 different channels around here? Like you got to really think it from a business perspective now.
Yeah,
really look at it.
I agree with that completely. I feel like even go back to what you said before about the viewership. You know, if someone comes in, they're like, "Oh, impress me." That's essentially how it is. You got to grab that person's attention and you got to make an impression on them. You know, there's 3 types of people on Twitch. There's this community people who are there for you. There's people who are there for the game. And then there's that third bracket that you just mentioned, which is people who are there for the person, but they'll only watch you if you're on the game. So it's a small separation there, but you know, it's true. You have to, you know, if you're playing a game that's oversaturated, like I said, like with viewership, like Fortnite, like Call of Duty, you have to stand out and you have to be the person that is like, people have to watch you for a reason. Like if anybody ever asks me for advice, I'm always like, right, why? Like when I was on Fortnite, for example, I'd be like, right, why would you watch me over Ninja? That's something I have to answer, and that's something that's going to bring me some success. If I have something there that I'm doing that Ninja isn't, or I'm doing something on his level, or even better, could be interactions, it could be the way people come into the stream. There's tons of different ways to do it, but I think what you said there, it's really good advice, and it's something I always preach as well. it's you have to stand out. You can't be a normal content creator now. COVID came in, creators came in, and a lot of creators are gone now since COVID as well. I know a handful of creators who've gone back to their normal jobs. They don't even stream anymore. So, you know, gaming is readily accessible to everybody. It's why a lot of people came into streaming through COVID. But yeah, you have to stand out. You know, you have to find that bit of your personality, or you know, maybe you're really good at the game in a certain way. Like, you need to have a niche in something. It could be a personality bit, like a bit of niche. It could be a gaming niche, but you need to have something to stand out.
No, I was going to say about that with the aspect of the whole gaming side of streaming. Like, you see a lot more of the boys that were like non-stop gaming have now switched over to like IRL content or doing other stuff. Because they've seen the competitiveness and the numbers that they're up against in the gaming side of things. But then you look at like the IRL kind of stuff, they're thinking to themselves, all right, maybe this is more balanced. Maybe I can draw more attention this way and grow myself from this part. And then once you've built yourself to a certain level and get to the numbers that you feel like is good enough to go back to yourself and go, okay, maybe now I can go back to gaming. And you might not keep all them people that you gain from the IRL, but you will keep a certain amount as long as you do the right, you approach the manner in the right way, you know, in that sense. And you interact with them in the right sense. But that's in regards to that. Obviously, Captain or Aaron. I'll go Aaron.
Whatever.
Yeah. We'll go with Aaron, right? Because this is what I want to get on a more personal level, obviously.
Yeah.
So with that, Aaron, obviously, like, where did it all start for you? Like, when you thought to yourself, like, obviously coming from the wrestling, when you get your names and stuff, where did you get these names? Like, what did you sit down and think, just like write a lot of names down and just pick one, or how did you come up with these names for yourself in terms of like CaptainSexsea? Where did that come from?
Well, it was originally my wrestling name, and I was originally called, as I said, I always thought I had to have a gimmick in wrestling. I never thought I could just be Aaron. So I was like, always thinking, I was like, what the hell? And I don't know why the captain's hat came in. I was like, Captain. And I always loved like the 80s kind of Miami Vice kind of teams. We always kind of went retro kind of 80s team with our, we were called Club Tropicana was our wrestling name. And we came out to like Rick James music and stuff like that. So it was a very 80s kind of, we had like the open pink floral shirts and stuff like that. And our gear was very neon pink, very standout, so you wouldn't forget us and stuff like that. Then the name was Captain. I used to call myself Captain Fantastic, believe it or not. That was the very first name I had. And then a movie came out called Captain Fantastic, some weird indie film. I was like, what the fuck? Like, all right. I was like, I'm gonna have to change my name. And like, I was only thinking this because I knew this question would come up. I was like, fuck, did I come up with CaptainSexsea? I was like, when did I come up with this? Like, I don't know. I think I just one day just kind of was like taking a shit or something. It's like, I was like, kind of like, I always love like the kind of grandmaster. I love like the grandmaster sexy kind of like, I always love kind of the sexy kind of thing in the name and stuff like that. And I don't know where it came out of actually putting C rather than the Y. I still don't know where the fuck to this day I came up with it, but I just think I was like, oh, that's fucking smart. I was like, nobody's doing that. I was like, yeah, just do this, Captain Sexy. It's a great play on words. I was like, yeah, there's.
So how long before after you obviously came up with the name on the Jacks, right? How long after that did you think to yourself, right now this is the part where I get the sailor's cap and the whole job?
The sailor's hat and all that jazz was there beforehand. It was just name change. Yeah, it was that stuff was all there beforehand. Yeah, it was just the name change. Yeah, it all
together. I love that. Like, and I love how you actually didn't like get rid of it and just go on to Twitch and be like, yeah, my name's Aaron. You know, Aaron FN or some shit. You know, you took what you made from yourself from the start and what did you done very well with the 5 years.
Yeah,
and you brought it into the Twitch platform, which is absolutely amazing.
I'll keep it a $150 with you. There's like every 2 weeks, I'd even say to people, there's people in my community, I'll pull them aside, I'll message them, or I was even on a phone call to my mate during WrestleMania, and I was just like, I go, do characters connect with people? I go, is there a reason why there's only one person in the whole world who is successful character streaming on Twitch, i.e. Dr. Spec? Is there a reason why there's no other character out there even close to his level or top level? I'm like, I was like, do I need to just like get rid of it and just go to like Aaron and just give myself like a normal background? Is like, I go, is that the way to go? Is that the future? But then I'm stuck in a pool of just like what everyone else is doing. I'm like, how the hell do I get out of there? Because you see other streamers, they're so successful in the mid tier. You're like, these kids are literally just streaming in their fucking bedroom. It's like, there's obviously like reason behind this. It's like, is it because like it's harder to connect? Is it because people like see a character like, oh, what the hell is this? If people want to kind of know you more in a person, if they want to know Aaron, like they want to know like rather than the captain, is that it? And like I legit, like every 2 weeks, I'll always question myself over this and kind of just I always have a good think and just see, is it the way to go for the long term? Will it like benefit me, or am I kind of stuck in a mud now and kind of hit a glass ceiling where like, I'll only ever hit this level because it's hard. Because as I said, there's only one person in the world that's ever done it successful. But then you look at it, it's because is the reason he is so successful is because no one else has ever tried or got close to his level of production, or nobody's ever brought it, like ever done that kind of level because they haven't been able to. I'm like, is that the reason? Is because too many people have done like a poor little, like, or a fucking Wish version of them. They haven't been able to do like the whole own
He can
thing.
do.
And like, yeah. So it's always, it's still a question. I still question myself to this day, perfectly honest. Like I was only thinking of the other day, I was like, should I just do myself or should I just do the character? Like, so it's always a tough gig. Like, but it's great starting. Like, it's great for exposure. You'll always get people clicking into your stream like, oh, well, CaptainSexsea, that's a weird name, or that's a funny name. Let's see what's going on here. It's great for clickbait and all. And so you'll always get people popping in, popping out. But is it, as I said, is it the long-term solution? I don't know. Like, it's a tough one. I'm not like, if I knew the answer for that, I'll tell you, but I don't know.
I personally think, look, I put it this way, in my opinion, you said you're streaming 2 years and you've smashed goals of people that have been at it for 4 or 5 years. You know what I mean? So I think, you're on the right track now. And there's a little part about everything you just said there that caught my ear straight away. Do you watch Trainwrecks?
I do. Oh yeah, obviously book 50.
I swear to God, the video is I gotta keep a book 50.
I love Trainwreck, man. That's, he's always streaming when I'm on work, and I always have him in the background. He's fantastic.
Yeah, no, that's saying straight away. You just know it. The minute you hear someone say a book 50, you're just like, that's right. But no. So yeah, no, I definitely feel that I don't think you should change. Obviously, I want to get into that question next, or I'll let Gara get into it. But like, obviously, in terms of when you had this name, CaptainSexsea, right? I don't think you should change it. I think this is now, that's what people want from you. Like, that's what's glued them in. You know what I mean? In contrast. But in saying, we'll stick with the name for a minute. Tell us and fill us in what happened in regards to the Twitch situation, and obviously your name being squished off, and especially after like what I found about it. What I found about it was that you've had this name for a long time, and they also partnered you with it. So
well, I'm not partnered.
Are you not partner?
No,
sorry, my bad. Sorry, apologies.
Should be, man. Should be.
You should be. You should be. Apologies. I thought you was.
Nah. So obviously I've had this name since day one. It's been this. It used to be just Captain_Sexy. Then I think like a good couple of months ago, I changed to CaptainSexsea Live. I don't know why. And in fairness, I'm sure Gara, I don't know if you check your emails. I did get an email off Twitch maybe like a month or so ago, and it was saying we are changing your TOS community guidelines in regards to usernames. And I caught my eye and I read it, and I read through everything. I was like, blah 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 blah. And I was like, nothing here. Then it was the only thing was like, oh yes, references to sexual acts, blah 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 blah, or bodily fluids. And I was like, I was kind of looking, I was thinking to myself, I was like, the sexy. I was like, sexy isn't a reference to a sexual act. And I'm like, it's just a description. It's like, it's pretty PG the word. And I was like, okay, it should be okay. And then I just
way that way either. That's the thing, you know.
Then
I just felt in the sense that they'd put it out that way, like it's, you know what I mean.
Yeah, and then I just forgot about it. Just forgot about the email. Just went on my life. And then one day streaming, streaming offline. I was like, what the hell? That was an internet issue. Then I was like, no, it's not my internet. And I just noticed I was logged out of everything. Like all my like things, my chats I had up, my OBS all logged out. I was like, what the hell? Then I logged back in and it was like, oh, your username is banned. You got to change your username. I was like, what the fuck? So I changed my username anyway. I changed it to the Hot Captain. And then I put a ticket in. I just wrote a ticket. I just pretty much said, like, this is right. So I was like, let's go. Like, I read your community guidelines and I copied and pasted the part I was obviously references to, the sexual acting. It's like sexual. I was like, sexy isn't like a thing to a reference, like to a sexual act. Now, preferably, it could have been a bot. It could have just gone through everything that had sex in like a username and just automatically banned everything. So like, I wasn't really taking the heart. I was like, all right, look, it is what it is. And so I put a ticket in anyway. And very nicely, they sent me a very default message going, oh yeah, we made a mistake. Here's your username back. Bye.
Crazy.
Bye. I was like, oh, yeah, cool. But like, I was kind of thinking, I was like, yeah, it was kind of catch-22. I was like, yeah, obviously Sexy's kind of the name I branded myself with and stuff like that. And I was like, it's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass to rebrand. I was like, look, it's not the end of the world. If I have to do it. I said, I said to you, Gara, or somebody. I was like, if I have to do it, I fucking have to do it. And
that's the thing for me though. I've like, because like that's sort of straight away. Like, obviously, I do apologize, but I honestly, every time I went in your stream, like I've seen huge, like big numbers. So like, have you actually hit that mark? Do you think?
No,
that
I never put in a partner application. We've never hit a 75 average for 30 days. It's only actually ever since like January, February, March. We've hit like on average per month, we've hit like 65, 68,
Yeah.
and 65. So it's like even though it seems close, like another 10 plus average viewers, it's still like a lot. Like
Yeah.
it's still a good fair jump. And then you're coming in now to the summer season. This is where viewership starts to drop off. The weather's getting hotter, the days are longer. Like everything's back open again. Like this is the tough season. This is coming into the tough season now, you know what I mean, for viewership. So it's this where it actually gets harder now to try kind of retain your viewership and grow. So it's a tough push. Like I was only saying to my stream earlier, but like I kind of be lucky to get a partnership application in and kind of before maybe this year or kind of come winter. Like I would be, unless something miraculous happens.
I was just thinking, like, just obviously idea off the top of my head. I don't know if you've ever done this. But like coming into summer in a sense, and you've got the name CaptainSexsea. Would you not think to yourself, okay, like an idea that I come straight off, just thinking of the name straight away, I'd be like, if you went and rented a fishing boat for the day, done an IRL stream of you actually fishing on a boat, like that kind of stuff right there. As you're saying, it dips in the summer, right? But I think that would be, I'd watch that shit. That'd be hilarious. Like imagine you out, right? You're just in your chair, you're fishing, you have the whole gear on, and your couple of beers, and you're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That actually be class. You know what? I like that. It might be. No, it's a good idea, but it's not something I could do nearly every single day, or maybe something I could do maybe twice a month or something.
Special event kind of thing,
yeah.
But like that, as you were saying, like, so say, you know, say to yourself, it'd raise the bar, the average though. So say for instance, as you're saying, summer takes a dip. So say you're at 50, 55 during the day, you're doing gaming. But then the day you go on the boat and you're doing all that crack and you've 120, 150, 180, whatever it is, that would balance out the numbers in a sense.
Yeah, sounds like some Jamie J car kind of shite, doesn't it?
I just think outside the box. Maybe
you're right. Maybe it is kind of, maybe you should kind of branch outside and kind of think outside the box. Yeah, no, I like that kind of approach. It could be, I think I probably will look something like into that and try it. Yeah, maybe
a character. Like I
that'd be class.
How the fuck do you get internet in the middle of the sea though?
Well, I don't know.
Maybe some bandy Wi-Fi can have some phone connection or something.
Tifu and Irish Achilles and all that, they do all that kind of IRL stuff. And I'm
they
sure
like
Irish
that American 6G connection going on the gaffing.
Irish Achilles is down.
Man's down in the countryside, man.
Yeah.
Just hit him up and be like, here
on the 4G.
Secret, you know.
How do you do this?
How do you do this? But no, honestly, things like that, like I just from talking to you so far for like the hour or so already, I just get that vibe off you that you would be able to do that and make a big impact on it. Like even the likes, like just small things, like even like you going into a fucking a pet store, into a fish, you know where all the fish are. Just do like a documentary talking to the fish.
Oh my God!
I swear that would blow you up. I'm telling you now.
Yeah, you're right. Do you know what? I'm actually going to take a serious look at that, especially the fisher thing. I think that's I think you're right.
It's a really good one.
I think it's a very good idea. It'll need a lot of planning into it, but I think it's definitely you gotta, you're on this. I think I'm definitely gonna look into that. You got me.
You could find like even 2 or 3 people that you trust that could do it. And they run the production for you. You do your thing, they run the production, look after all the other stuff for you, everything else. I'm telling you now, that alone would pop out straight. Like I'd sit there and watch all of that out straight. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you got me excited there now. You know, I like it.
It's a really good idea.
I'm brilliant at coming up with ideas, but I'm a lazy shit that never puts them down. Like I am horrible for that. Like I come up with a great idea and I'm like, this is gonna pop, and then I wouldn't do it, and then a couple of weeks later, someone else, I'm like, you know,
I actually sadly love that. I think it's a fantastic idea.
I definitely think like you said yourself there, Aaron. You know, when it comes to summer, viewership dips, so you need to feel more pressure to do special events and more pressure to like add that bit extra on so that people will actually stay inside to watch your content. So I think it's a really good idea. But look, going back to CaptainSexsea here, you know, from chatting to you today, I could tell you're a fairly upbeat guy, and you're a good bit of crack. And I have to ask you the question though. You know, some people, when they have online personas, they're like an embodiment of what they want to be perceived as, like as a person. And then some people might use it to like explore different parts of their personality and things like that. How much of CaptainSexsea is actually you?
It's pretty. It's one of the things as well. It's pretty. To start off, it's pretty much just me. Just as I said, just dialed up. There's a good few notches. I'm pretty like. extrovert, right? I'm kind of introverted, just kind of in my I'm quite an introverted person, but like when I'm with people I'm comfortable with, I'm very kind of outgoing, as you said, it's kind of like I am to yourself, stuff like that. When I get comfortable or kind of like people are banter and quite like that and stuff like that, and good laugh. But no, it's just me. Like even in the wrestling, it's the same with me in wrestling. Like I was just kind of, it's just upbeat, just kind of just said myself dialed up. I think if you were trying to be someone completely different, like people know instantly. Like they know if you're trying to put on a charade, and they just won't connect with you if you're just trying to be something you're not. But if it's generally you, and like people will connect to you, and then obviously you get a lot more comfortable in it and stuff like that. And but no, it is actually just me, just kind of just turned up a good few notches. The misses and I'll be the missus actually questioned me a lot the other day. She's like, do you do drugs when you're out there? I'm like, she's like, I got a lot of Amazon packages. She goes, I'm fishy about these Amazon packages. I don't know what's coming in here because just bring them straight into the cabin and stuff like that. I'm like, no, I don't do drugs. No worries. Like, you sure? She actually sent me a message one day. It's like, you on coke or stuff like that. Well, no, I don't. Better what? I do not. I might joke about it. You go, oh yeah, ketamine, but like I'm only taking the piss. Like I don't actually do ketamine.
Yeah.
No, but it is like that, like though, like because there's so many streamers out there that aren't energetic, like as energetic as someone like yourself, in a sense. You know what I mean? And the amount of energy you put in for that period of time, and now you're after saying you come off the back of a real job, coming off the back of a family as well.
Yeah.
So like people would have obviously are going to think that, like, you know what I mean, like that. Where do you get that energy from? But some people just naturally just have it. Like some people are just built on that shit. Like, you know what I mean, where they can just go. You know, but I'd say you sleep like a lamb after a day. Like,
not really. Sometimes I have G Fuel too late, and I'm just fucking spinning in my bed. Just can't fucking sleep. My eyes. I'm just looking at the ceiling. Like, fucking like spasming now. I'm like, and I won't go to sleep. It'd be like 6 o'clock in the morning. I'll actually get to sleep. I'm like, this is bollocks. This is G Fuel that's coursing through my veins. And they're like, oh no. But it is. It's just kind of, once again, it's kind of going back to, it's like, how can I grab people in? It's like, you got to put on a show. Like, it's okay. You can just like, you know, it's like your man. If you're really good at a game, if you're like the top like 1% at this at something, then you could just sit there in a dark room with a shitty webcam, don't say anything, and just play the game. People watch. Like I'm sure you remember with Anders. Remember Anders, the Denmark kid in FIFA?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Remember him? And like he was he made headlines. Like this kid is now 90-0 in foot champs, now 180-0 in foot champs. And he had like 24,000 people watching him. And he was just sitting. If you ever watch him, he's sitting like all the way in the back of the room. His room is completely black. He's not even speaking fucking English. And he's just this. And he's just playing FIFA. But I'm like, people are watching him. They don't care about this kid. They're watching him because they either want to watch him lose or they wanted to see this kid who is literally the best at the game. So like, that's what I mean. Like, there's exceptions to everything. Like, if you're the best, and you can get away with that stuff. But if you're good at a game, but you're not the best, then you gotta find like, how can I still grab people's attention? You gotta put on a show. You know what I mean? To put on a show, as I said, doesn't mean you gotta go do the fucking Irish dancing scene like I do in my thing. There's different things. Like, that's not saying the boys, you gotta go out there, put a green screen on and start fucking dancing your head off. Just try to be energetic, just be engaging, just be passionate, just, as I said, we were saying earlier on, you just gotta find your niche. What are you good at? What is your thing that people are gonna draw them in? Like Awful Gas, for example. We all know Awful Gas.
Yeah.
I think he's brilliant. I think he's so witty and so funny. He's just, his humor is brilliant. Like if he's doing VR, I'm like, I'm gonna watch him because he says some absolutely funny shit. Like if he was to play, his videos are like when he's playing Call of Duty, his TikToks, and he's just slagging people off. They're fantastic. It's like, I would tune in to watch him play Warzone, even though he's probably fucking shit at the game, just to watch him talk shit to other people.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is entertaining. It's like I can't think of anyone who does this better than him with the Irish sense of humor. I'm like, it's just absolutely fantastic. Like your nanny's got a mullet and all this. It's like, how does he think of this stuff?
Yeah,
like that's what I mean. Like that's his thing. You think of Awful Gas, you think just this witty guy who can come up with really good fucking funny slags and just really get under people's skin. It's just really funny and stuff. So that's his thing. You just gotta find something that's like your own and people are gonna draw it in, and that's the kind of just the key to the end of it to growing. You know what I mean? It's just.
100%. It's true, and I think you've really nailed that down. I think Carl's wit, like Awful Gas's wit, is one of his best things. The way he can come back and some of the stuff he says, and you know, like we've already said already, it separates him from the crowd. With that being said, Aaron, you know, from the production quality to the entertainment, you really have your stream nailed down. As I feel like, personally at least, one of the best experiences on Twitch to actually go and watch. What aspects of your own stream do you feel make you stand out?
I think there's I said, there's no one really doing kind of. I kind of create, as I said, it's kind of keeping the Dr. Disrespect Foundation there. Like I kind of create my own kind of environment. Like everything on my stream is based around you're on this boat, and this boat's got all these different rooms inside it. I'm like, everybody put your speedos on, put your factor 15 on, get your drinks, let's go fucking crazy. It's just kind of creating that kind of atmosphere. It's like, oh yeah, it's kind of environment. Like no one else does that. There's only one other streamer apart from Dr. Spec that I know who does it, and it's a guy called Ben Jamins. He's an American guy. He does a founding fathers kind of gimmick, so he's like dressed as like Benjamin. He's got this like Benjamin Franklin kind of gimmick thing, and it's very back in like the I don't know what year that was anyway, but he's got all these kind of cool scenes, very like that, and he kind of creates that kind of environment as well. So it's kind of like that. Nobody does it. That's what I mean. Like, I'm sure people maybe tried it, but they haven't done it well because they haven't known what to do. But obviously, you got a captain, you're on a boat, and it's kind of just creating this overall atmosphere. It's like, yeah, I'm in somewhere. Like, create a kind of, it's a show as well, man. Especially with green screen, you got this flexibility to do so much really cool and creative things. Like, I feel like I've not gone outside the box. Well, like, I see clips of people on the TikTok doing some really cool stuff with green screen. Like, oh, that's fucking genius. I feel like my stuff is very kind of maybe creative to some people, but I'm like, there's so much more you could do and get really, really, really creative and stuff. If you just kind of sit down and just think, and it'll really blow people's minds. So yeah, it's kind of good in that way. But as I said, like sometimes people just like watching people sit in their room because they can feel that connection between that guy there. And it's like, you know what I mean? You just feel you know the person more. So sometimes green screens don't always appeal to everybody and stuff like that. Some gimmicks. I mean, it's just kind of going back what I say, but you know what I mean? Some people just like having that connection, just sitting there with the person, getting to know them, and you know what I mean? Sometimes this creates a more wholesome feel, and you know, that's the kind of I mean, there's kind of a huge case for everything. There's not one common answer or one common formula that works well for everybody, you know what I mean?
Jenny, I think you'll agree as well. I feel the same when I go to Cap stream. It's like, it's so entertaining. You feel like you're transported to like a different kind of place, and it's really, really entertaining to be there.
It definitely is. Like it definitely, the first thing when you go in is like it captures your eye. You know, you don't really realize what game he's playing at the time.
Yeah, no.
It just catches your eye. Like you just go in, and he could have the big blue sky and the fucking sand or whatever it is, you know, and you just see this guy here, and he's just there, and he's just constantly at you, and it's very it draws you in very, very quickly. I do find that very, very quickly. And the more I appreciate about it is the fact that you've put all this effort in, and it's just flawless. Like for me, anyway, what I seen of you, and I went back because obviously when I heard you were coming on, I said, Gary, I'm gonna go back and watch a couple more of these guys' VODs. I wanna really kind of get a feel of them. And straight away, like when I was watching your VOD, like 10 minutes, and I was sucked in. I didn't even realize like time was going by. I was just sucked into you and what you were doing. So. No, it definitely is. It's very captivating on the eyes, anyway, 100%.
Yeah, the kind of thing I try to make sure as well, and I think this is the downfall. This kind of going into why I find this kind of going into the Irish content creation scene. There's I think a lot of Irish content creators build their brand around I'm Irish, and I think that's a bad thing in a way, because I think when you kind of just say I'm Irish, I think you're kind of setting your ceiling. Here.
Yeah.
And you're kind of only trying to appeal yourself to an Irish audience. Now, you're obviously going to you're going to pull in a small percentage of Americans in English, but not as much as you would if you kind of didn't base yourself around, hey, look, I'm Irish, come to my thing. And you know what I mean? You're really setting your bar low to the potential of what you could actually do. And that's what I kind of do. Like, there's none that when you come into my stream, there's still people like, where are you from? People don't obviously assume I'm Irish straight away. There's nothing there to say I'm Irish or anything like that. You know what I mean? I tried to create a brand where it's like, people, this is like, anyone watches, American watches, English will watch this, you know what I mean? It's like, you don't know where this guy's from. There's nothing there to kind of say, hey, look, it's Irish, because it's just, and I think that it is kind of a bit of a downfall for some people. Like, they kind of say, like, hey, I'm Irish, and they kind of, like, it's, you know what I mean? You get the Irish people in, but like, you're missing out on all the potential English or Americans and stuff you could actually possibly bring into your stream.
I definitely feel you on that. Like, the fact that it's in my, like, this is the conversation I had about my name. Like my name is virtually IrishGenesis. So the minute you see my name on Twitch, you know I'm Irish. Like, but I don't like when you come to my stream, I'm not like, oh, I'm Irish. I would never actually talk about it in that sense. And that's why I wanted just the name Genesis.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But that's the Genesis account is already taken on Twitch. It's a partner account, hasn't streamed in 8 months. I DM'd the guy, and he got back to me like 3 weeks later and gave me a price, and he wanted 15,000 USD for it. And I was like, bro, I was like, just no point. I'm not that. Like, it's different if I'm fucking, you know, on top of my perch and I'm killing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you could think to yourself, okay, is this the right move? and that's been playing around my head now for a while. Do I keep my name? Do I change? You know what I mean? But I feel like I have to keep it now because everybody knows that, like, straight away, my name. You know what I mean? Because it's been thrown about, not even just on Twitch in a gaming sense, it's been thrown out all over the place in the sense in regards to like orgs and Twitter and
of course,
and all that. So I don't think I can change it now, but I do feel you on that one. I definitely feel like sometimes I get people in and I'm kind of limited based off just my name. By itself.
You got to think about all the possible clicks you're missing out on, because like obviously you got a brand name, so you're not too bad. But if you're like an up and coming like content creator, you got to be really thinking about what you're putting in your titles or what you're putting as your name. I'm just gonna use your name as an example, Genesis. So if you're flicking through GTA or whatnot, you're someone, right? You see IrishGenesis, you see Irish. Some people, you'd be surprised, like people. I don't know if you're not Irish, you're English or American, it might not catch your attention. You might go, oh, Irish, nah, flick through. You know what I mean? Same idea. If you saw someone with like French mark, you're not gonna click a French mark. It's like, I don't fucking speak French. You know what I mean? I don't speak French. But you could just miss out on the most entertaining stream ever. This guy could speak perfect fucking English. He could have the best production. He could be funny as fuck. But because his name was that, and you're like, I don't speak fucking French. You know what I mean? You've missed out on it. And that's the kind of shit you got. It's the same with titles. Same with titles as well. Like, if you're putting like Irish in your title, you got to think of titles as clickbait. You got to look at your Twitch titles. I'm really big on Twitch titles. I think it's such a slept on thing, and it's such a powerful tool, because it's also, if you're figuring your channels, you see the titles as well. But if you're putting like, see, I'd look at it the same way as clickbait for YouTube. If you're putting like Irish, come on in, you know what I mean? It's like, people are just gonna scroll by that. It's like, if you're Irish, you might pop in, but you're missing out on all these possible people from different countries that are gonna come in and watch your stream. Like, you know, you'd be surprised. Some Americans don't even know Irish speak fucking English. You know what I'm saying? They don't even fucking know. They don't even know. There's like, some people, like, you're missing out on all these possible clicks and views in your streams. You gotta be really careful of how you format your title and stuff like that. Same with thing. If you have like, best fives on Twitch, 90% of the fucking titles on Twitch are best fives on fucking Twitch. Like, you gotta really program your title to really kind of stand out and make it kind of catch someone by the eye. Like, I have fucking Jeffrey Bezos's love child of mine tonight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I see something like that, like, you know, I can't go all in like that. But you gotta think outside the box. As I said, it's such a competitive market. You gotta really think like these little things. The title is so powerful at the end of the day. Like, it can be such a powerful tool to use to stand out. Like, and just really try to find something that's gonna catch somebody's attention. Go, oh, you know, what's this? Oh, well. Boom, click on that, and then you have them. Then you have your chance to impress them, you know what I mean? Rather than them just scrolling past your page, just missing that opportunity. You can really like you at the end of the day, you know what I mean? That's a successful, that's a potential kind of community member just gone like that, just because your title or your name was just wrong, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. Like, for me though, it's like this is my third year on Twitch, and I just feel like now I'm too into it. But at the same time now, I've already admitted to myself and to everyone that knows me is that I'm not going for what I was going for like a year ago, you know? I'm not going for that full out to make it on Twitch in a sense. Like, I do it now kind of more part-time hobby, you know, in that sense. I kind of want to go with a different approach now with obviously Gar and the podcast, and then kind of doing more of getting involved in more of like IRL content and, you know, hitting off all fronts. I just find that would suit me a lot better, because I'm very out there and I'm not afraid to walk up and just talk to you on the street if I don't know you. I'd be the first one to go up with a mic and start asking you questions. So I definitely, but you're dead right. Like, as I said, the only reason I went with IrishGenesis is because Genesis was the name I wanted from the get-go. And when I first came to Twitch, I had that as like on my gamer tags. I still have it as my COD tag, you know, or my COD name.
That's completely fine. You built the brand around that for years, and that's completely grand. You know what I mean? People know you because of that. But I just mean, like, any up-and-coming streamers is like, try not to just put yourself in a box and just being Irish, because you're setting the bar. Your seating is there, you know what I mean? Your glass ceiling is there. There's everyone there, you know what I mean? It could be so much fucking higher if you just made your brand more like recognizable, more worldwide kind of base, you know what I'm saying? Like, Gary, I'm sure you kind of agree or kind of maybe have some kind of add on that. I don't know, like, but this is all my personal opinions. Like, what I say, I'm not like,
you're 100% right.
You know what I mean?
No, you really are, dude. You're 100% right. I feel like it's very easy to jump into the Irish niche and to hold on to it. And on some platforms it works. I feel like on TikTok the Irish niche works well, because TikTok will give you specifically an Irish audience who will of course relate to you better. But on Twitch you're more of a global standpoint, so you need to be able to compete with people on a global scale, not just people in your own country. You know what I mean? It's not like you know, you're the only Irish guy out there who's able to put Irish in their title. Do you know what I mean? So you gotta be able to find that individuality and spread it out. And realistically, you gotta compete with the likes of the UK, with the likes of the US in terms of entertainment, like you said, having a niche and selling yourself. That somebody's gonna come into your stream every time you're live and be part of your schedule, be part of your community. So you're 100% right.
That kind of falls down to the kind of the same category as yourself, Gara, with the whole where they're saying the Irish in titles and limit yourself. You limited yourself for Absolute Phil TV because you knew that going forward that was it's kind of the same thing. No, but it's not. It's the name that made you, the name that you buzzed off. People loved you. That's where you got your fucking whole kick from. You know, you grew as a person on that name. But then you got in, you started learning, and you started seeing, right, this is actually what I want. So you went the business route, and you knew you had to change the name because, as you said, like, you know,
very smart as well. Very smart.
Yeah, a lot of kids subscribing to him, and you know the parents Absolute Phil TV tier 1.
It's a porn website, and
it is. It's very similar to what Aaron's saying with the limiting yourself with the Irish thing. You were very limited to like businesses, companies, sponsor someone with the name Absolute Filth.
Exactly. So for me, at least, like, even though I've been streaming for 4 years now, I feel like I'm only a year and a half into the game because I've only started as TheGaraShow in January 2021. So since then, I'm like, right, now this is my full-time gig. This is the brand that I need to start building from the ground up. Yeah, I had a community already forged from Absolute Filth and all that, but I wanted to build up a brand now that's more personal, like having obviously my name Gara, it's my second name, so I was like, right, there's a personal brand. It's somewhat clickable. It's like TheGaraShow. You might click on and be like, what's going on, what's the entertaining factor of this? That's kind of the angle I went with it, and you know, it's brought me a lot of success so far. As I said, I still feel like even 4 years streaming, I'm a baby to this game. I've so much to learn, and 1.5 years under the new kind of branding. So yeah, it was the right decision for me, and I feel like at any given point,
even your community changed. Your community became so much more mature when you went to TheGaraShow. You lost all the little kids from Absolute Phil TV Customs, like all them little Fortnite guys. You lost all them. So but in the long term, look at you now. Like it was obviously the best business move you've made. But it just shows that how small even a name can change your whole group in a sense. You know what I mean? It's crazy, isn't it? Like, because like everyone knew Absolute Phil TV, Fortnite Customs, Fortnite, you know, and you had all the kids in. them kids, you were fucking killing it because of all these kids coming in wanting to play your games.
Yeah,
and you killed it with it, and then you went to the business side, and it's just worked. It's definitely like, it's mad how small little tiny things can make a huge difference.
I was already saying, even I sometimes feel that my name is quite kind of, I always kind of question my name. That's why I was kind of happy when my name got banned a little bit, because it's like, obviously then I can kind of rebrand myself to a bit more of a brand friendly name. Because obviously when you start streaming, you don't think of this stuff, you know what I mean? You don't think of what your brand name's going to be, and will brands be attracted to your name? Because at the end of the day, you mean, don't scare the money away. That's like, I heard a podcast the other day and some guy was saying, don't scare the money away. And he means in like, don't do stuff that jeopardize yourself, that people aren't going to sponsor you or brand you or whatnot. And that's what I mean. Gara obviously took that route. He got rid of Absolute Phil, turned himself to the GaraShow. That's why sometimes I'm like, sexy is like, sometimes, you know what I mean? It's not exactly something that fucking Cheerios or like Toys R Us are going to sponsor me with at the end of the day.
You get away with it though, because the thing with Gara, he was Absolute Phil TV. Now the only thing he did obviously was the koala mask. You know what I mean? But in your sense is that when someone comes in and sees your name, CaptainSexsea, you've got the whole look of a sea captain. You've got, you know, so a brand would look at you as in, okay, he's done something really fucking clever here. But that's brandable because you've already got your look, you've got your kit, you know, everything about your stream is related around you. As where Gara was just this young guy who liked to do raves, throw on koala masks, have the crack,
have a stupid name,
and call himself Absolute Filthy. But as I said, lads, it's the stupid names and the stupid, like, these small gimmicks and these little things we do builds you up, and you learn from it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, Gary, you learn from it. Not many people do. That's the thing, you know. A lot of people out there would think, I'm not changing my name, you know, blah blah blah, because they don't look at the bigger picture. Do you know what I mean?
Can I ask you guys a question, which I kind of have a theory about, but be interested to get your guys' opinions about it. Do you think being Irish in a content creator scene is nearly like a handicap or a disadvantage?
No, not at all. I feel like the global consensus of Irish people is usually pretty good. So I feel like you already have a one up. There's a lot of people that I've met through my time on streaming where they come in and they have a good relationship with meeting an Irish person or meeting Irish people or even viewing them online. So personally, I feel like it's a positive in that way. As we said already, as long as you're not holding that ceiling over your head where you're using that as your leverage. I've had a very positive experience with it, at least. Jenny, what about you?
For me, I feel like it's a bit of a disadvantage in a sense of like, I find that with Irish streamers, we're all painted with the same brush. If you get what I mean, like we're all like, if someone goes into streaming this year Irish, you usually get the same shit. Like, do you drink much? Are you on the dole? Or, you know, it's always the kind of same stereotypical bullshit. So, yeah, I'm kind of 50-50 on it.
Let me ask you a question. If you grab 3 streamers, 1 American, 1 English, and 1 Irish, identical, do the exact same thing, but just because their nationalities, the only difference between these 3 guys, their nationalities different. You grab 100 Americans. What percentage do you think of those Americans would choose the Irish streamer over the English?
I'd say 60-70%.
Would choose the Irish streamer.
Over English?
Over English or American.
Yeah.
Or or American.
American themselves, I think 60-70% of them 100 people would watch the Irish person.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because nearly every Irish streamer I know has a large USA following.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people in the US, but do you not think that Americans are more inclined to watch Americans? Don't bear in mind, Americans is like a billion population and stuff like that. Do you think Americans are like this? Like that could be all right, but you can maybe think like only 10% of those Americans are probably watching like Irish, where like that other 90% are more drawn to watching people of their own culture. You got to remember, we've grown up in a society or a culture where American TV and all that jazz is just
standard.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just a standard. You know, there's a reason we don't watch fucking Fair City, and there's a reason we watch EastEnders, Coronation Street, all that jazz. You know what I mean? There's a reason why you got to think of it. Like, not many people in America or like the UK watch any of the brilliant Irish TV shows that have been made. Very small percentage would. Like, how many people from the UK or America watch Love Hate? How many people watch maybe Hardy Books? Or how many people have watched Father Ted? Very low. And you got to take that kind of spin and maybe go like, is there a reason why there's not too many Irish, like all the Irish musicians? Only a very, very small percentage that have actually made it. Broke through. Same with rappers. I don't even think there's an Irish rapper that's breaking through. Streamers. How many like streamers have really been successful? You got Jacksepticeye, you got Justin Minks. After that, who was like a worldwide brand? You know what I mean? Even bands. U2 are probably the U2 and maybe Picture This are like the only 2 proper bands from Ireland. Obviously, you probably got like obviously the people from Limerick as well. What was their name again?
Rubber Bandits.
The thing about it is the 2 streamers you mentioned, they don't, well, like, I'm not saying they don't consider themselves Irish, but they're so away from being Irish.
That's the thing. They don't. That's what I'm trying to say. They don't come across as Irish, and that's why they've transpanded and really grown. You know what I mean? But if you're kind of branding yourself as Irish, is there a reason why? Like, this is gonna sound very kind of controversial, but there's a lot. Just don't get me wrong. There's a lot of great English people. Some English people look down on Irish people. You know what I mean? And you can say what it is. They still kind of do. There's that kind of culture where they're better. There's still that hate. You know what I mean? And it's strong, but you got to look from a stream point of view. They will not. Some people will not click on your stream if they know you're Irish. You know what I'm saying?
No, there's still that. Definitely still that. That hate between Irish and English people. But it's not even based off what you're going with Twitch. This is based off everything. Like when it comes down to sport, any sport, rugby, or whatever. Ireland and England. It's always like Ireland and England is like, you know, Liverpool, Man United. It's that hate. You know what I mean?
But that's what I mean. So that's what I mean. Like sometimes just being Irish in general can be very, very harder to grow than somebody who's from England or America. That's the kind of point I'm getting to. We're not starting off on the same. They have such an advantage just being from where they are, geographical, and being there, just being who they are. It's like it's so much easier to grow and elevate.
Do you think it'd be easier to grow as an Irish content creator if the content creator himself, if you like, so say myself, Gary, you move to the States, do you think you grow more from being there than you are in Ireland?
I don't know, because you're technically still Irish, just living in America. You know what I mean? I think you just gotta be American or just be that. I don't think like just living somewhere, because I could just tell someone could just pop my stream. They're like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "I'm living in the fucking Florida." You know what I mean? They don't fucking know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it's just more than
That's
that.
the
You know what I
thing.
mean?
There's a lot.
I think it's
Accent
more
as
than
well,
that.
though. It's the accent, like that's the problem. Like when
Yeah.
people come to the stream straight away, like the most easiest accent spot is an Irish accent. It's
Yeah.
so easy to cop, like, and
Yeah.
but like that's the thing. I don't know, but it's like with a lot of like, as I was actually just want to relay back to that question you were asking earlier, Aaron.
Hmm?
I find that the way you were saying about the Americans watching the Irish, the English guy, yeah, or
Or
watching
the
the American
Americans,
guy,
like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually look at that picture and I look at the opposite side. How many of us watch from the EU watch American
Oh,
streamers?
yeah. I was about to
over?
say, if you put 100 Irish people and you do the exact same test, same streamer, did the exact same thing, but one's
American
from
for me.
America, Irish, they'd go to America because America's embroidered in our culture. We've grown up watching American
Yeah.
TV, American movies. We look at America as this kind of fucking mystical land. It's just on our head. It's just embedded. It's the way we're growing up. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just look at that and it's just like, wow, he's American. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Saying that, like,
there's a
I
lot of
go
different
through
sides
my
to it.
list.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's not a one-way debate. You know what I mean? It's just like it's not.
Yeah, I'm gonna push. I'm gonna
It's,
push in here. I think there's a lot of different sides to this. So first of all, like what you're saying about the whole question, about, you know, if you have this amount of streamers, who's gonna watch this person? I feel like, yeah, on the grand scheme of things, you're right. I think there's an obvious answer there that we're kind of all in agreement with. But for me, in the Irish scene right now, and I think it reflects on Irish culture in a way, is that not a lot of people give it the full-time whack. Like, we're a small country at the end of the day, right? So realistically, our pool of people compared to the UK or US is fucking minuscule at the end of the day, right? With that being said, how many of those people actually do the research, put in the time to actually do it full-time, and to break out, like your Justin Minks, like your Jacksepticeye? A super, super, super small percentile. I've been in the Irish scene for a while now, and very, very few creators I can give credit to actually giving it a full-time whack and trying to brand themselves on a global scale.
About to say that. I believe that, Gara, because you're on the right track. I do agree here with you, because I'm looking at it now and I'm thinking to myself, hold on, he's actually coming somewhere with this. If we look at the bigger picture, all the guys that may possibly break through or, you know, give it the all, we all know each other or are all linked in a certain way. If you not noticed that, like, that's how, but that just shows the amount of Irish content that is dog shit and that is just not up to par. Because if you look at it, right? So we just take, for instance, right? In the Irish scene, as Aaron was saying earlier, so you got CaptainSexsea knows Awful Gas knows him, Rusher, Bristol Bob, yourself, you all know each other. All these people that are, like, putting in the effort, the time and all, yeah? You all already know each other in that group. Where's these other guys? You know what I mean? These guys that want to bring themselves onto the scene. Like, where are they? Like, that's my question. Is it actually, are we at that stage, it's gone that bad that we've only got to select maybe 15 to 20 the guys that actually want to do it? Do you know what I mean? Because from my perspective, if there was someone else big in the Irish scene, yeah, we'd know about them straight away. We'd hear about them.
I think there's a lot of people big in the Irish stream. You gotta look at this. There's a lot of big Irish YouTubers and there's a lot of big Irish TikTokers as well. That are fairly, like, some people got millions. Like, I think you're one Lauren. Is it Lauren Whelan's? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Twitch. But yeah, Twitch. See, Twitch is always gonna be the hardest thing to break through. Twitch is the hardest content creation platform to grow on compared to the likes of YouTube, TikToks, whatever. Like, it's the hardest because, like, as YouTube is, you're only trying to grab people's attention for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, click on a video. Wait, you're trying to grab someone's attention for 3 goddamn hours, 4 hours, 5 hours at a time, and to get them to come back 3 times, 4 times, 5 times a week and stuff like that. It's the hardest thing. It's live television nearly at the end of the day. You're trying to create a show to bring them to it. It's always gonna be the hardest to grow. But yeah, there's like, yeah, no, I agree with you. I think content-wise, I don't think anybody's knocking it out the park per se as yet compared to what we see in the likes we see what produced from, like, the likes of England and
exactly
whatnot and stuff like that. So that is a very, very good counterpoint. That maybe the reason we're not getting eyes on us is because the content is not up to par. I know, happily, it's a great point, fair point indeed. So
as I said, there's multiple sides to it, so I wanted to intervene because I feel like there was a narrative going on there, and I was like, man, there's so many other ways of looking at this. It's like
there always is, though, isn't there?
Yeah,
there's always different ways to look at it.
like there's a level of creators, like you said. There's the whole perception from the UK over us as well, and, you know, then obviously the likes of favoritism, like you mentioned with the polls and all that. With that being said, though, Aaron, what do you think personally the Irish content creation scene is missing right now to be able to compete with the likes of the UK or the US?
I just don't think there's think content is so everything's been done. Everything has nearly been done. It's just hard to get out of a box. Like it's just everything is just so oversaturated. If someone's done something, guarantee you like 10 other people have already done it, and it's hard to try and find a niche these days and someone to break through. Like it's I think just in general content creation at this moment in time, it's so hard to try and find a new up and coming person like who's gonna break through. Like what's the young kid's name over in Britain? The Minecraft streamer, content creator guy. He's really smart.
What's his name? The curly haired fella.
Yeah, I like him. He's good. He's a funny guy. I can't remember his name. There's like 18 or something.
I'm gonna look it up now. Hold on.
Tommy Innes.
Yeah,
like,
there we go.
He's probably like the most. Well, he's not even up and coming. He's already so established, but like he's probably like the best thing coming out of Britain at the moment now. Like, try to think how many people are trying to be the next KSI. How many people are trying to be the next Miniman? Like, how many people in Britain are trying to do that, but they can't because it's already been done. So I don't know. It's just someone just needs to find something. Like, for example, I think Jamie J Car's content was absolutely fantastic. I was only saying to Jamie, I was like, he popped on my stream before. I was like, Jamie, if you could do that shit like every week, it's a fucking win.
Yeah.
You get eyes on you. But I understand his point of view. Organization of it's fucking tough. Like, it's right, the money as well. It's like, it's not unless you have some sort of fucking brand or sponsor behind you.
Yeah, you need
it's just gonna be impossible. But like, that's the type of shit. It's like no one's doing that anywhere.
I think that's why Jamie gets so much respect for when he does do these things because it's no one else is doing it. Like, you know, and I honestly I know well enough. The only thing holding Jamie back is obviously the money side of it. Like if he had that bankroll, he would be fucking killing.
Yeah.
Like,
if you could do that every week, if you do that every Saturday, you do that every Saturday, 7 p.m. Tune in. We'll be doing this. It's like, yeah, fuck, I'm gonna tune in every Saturday, watch fucking Jamie do this. You know what I mean? But it's like,
don't you want to win the lotto?
Yeah, maybe it's brilliant. But
he wouldn't just give up on his content. Like even if Jamie's that kind of guy, he can't live without being that guy. So like, I definitely feel like if anyone was to win, even give the cunt 100 grand on 5 numbers or something. You know,
like I'll be interested to see what this Lad Nation stuff does now. The content around that, like I'll be interested to see like just what he's doing, what he's got planned, and how he's going to try like not only kind of establish himself in the Irish scene, but try see if he can really bring in those Americans and English to really come over and watch you guys and really build a strong kind of global English speaking. Well, obviously English probably. Just a global audience in general, like just like get a strong brand. I'm like, that's what I'm kind of worried. It's like, you see content creators and they're doing content, but it's like, oh, how many hurls can I fucking throw over a fucking Gaelic pitch? Like English people aren't gonna watch that. You know? I mean, they don't give a fuck. That's content for Irish people at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, you got to think like, would the English person watch this? Would an American person watch this? They're the questions you got to be asking yourself. Like, or is it appeal only to like it's only appeal for an Irish person? That's kind of stuff. So like, I'm interested to see what you can do because like I said, you're getting yourself your little Irish version of fucking
Simon.
Yeah, exactly. The Irish Simon. Yeah, that's it. So it's like, be interested to see how he's broadcast. I think there's a niche in it for the Irish market for sure, and just attack it to full force. Get every single Instagram, fucking TikToks, YouTubes, Twitches, everything, and just go for
it has to. Platform, once again, and you're dead right. It has to be content that's like widely available, and even go back to Jamie. It's why recently, you know, me and Jamie are very very close, and I chat to him fairly often, and I know that he's trying to do events, and I chatted to him a fair few times over the last couple of months, and I was like, listen, I want to help out. I feel like there's a big open space here to actually make Irish events and to make like content that is accessible, like the UK or the US want to watch it and get involved with Jamie. So it's why we're doing this dating show here at the end of April.
I was about to say that.
Like it's a really fun idea. You know, we see like Aidan Ross and other big guys doing it over the US and even in the UK, but it's still content that anybody can take in and actually watch, and it's great. So it's stuff that I think that's the kind of thing that'll separate the Irish content creators from being Irish. Do you know what I mean? It's like you said yourself, everything's oversaturated, but it's about how you do it and even taking a twist on it or making it like elevating the idea to another level. That's what it's all about. So I'm all for doing events and for doing things like this that actually.
I definitely agree with that. I think like especially as well, as I said, like there's obviously you got to look at it. You got to get the right people involved first of all. You got to have the bankroll and people got to be committed. Like sometimes you got to think to yourself, all right, if I put 2-3 grand into this, if it doesn't work out, I got to accept that loss in a sense. Like with this, when we were talking about this boxing event we've been going on about with all the Irish content creators, like that's something that has so much potential to blow up, but at the same time can fail miserably. You know what I mean? But is it at the stage where you got to think to yourself, these kind of things, you just gotta fucking drop it, your pin in the ocean and hope to find it again. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing about the boxing. The boxing, I've heard you talk about this a couple of times. I think the boxing is a great thing. I think if you get the right advertisement out, the promotion for it, it'll bring a lot of eyes on. But you gotta remember, this boxing thing is just like nearly a once off. With this e-dates thing, like if Jamie really, I know Gary, you're involved in it behind the scenes as well. But if you really concentrate, really nail this down, and if you make this nearly a weekly or bi-weekly thing, and you get a couple of shows under your belts, and once you have a couple of shows in your belt, then you start bringing in the bigger content creators. You get the big Irish ones in, as I say. Maybe you get your one fucking Lauren in. You get your man Ryan in from TikTok and all more exposure. You get momentum going. Then you start bringing in some people, some other streamers from like the UK, America. You grow it. It snowballs.
Exactly.
I think there is. And it's great. It's great content. I love watching it. I think it's fantastic. And no one's really doing it on Twitch anymore. I just said Aiden Ross did it. They're not doing it anymore. I know your man.
In the UK, Bubba does it. Yeah, he's a UK guy. Bubba, his name is, his partner streamer.
But I think it's great. I think you get a lot of. I don't think
anyone
in Irish done it, have they? No one in Irish has really done it.
No one ever
That's
done
what I
it.
mean. You grab it, you got a big audience behind you. The people are coming in, they're like, what's going on in here? And you know what I mean? It's like, this is good crack.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Just Irish people in general. Then you got yourself in there, the banter of Jamie in there, you know what I mean? Maybe throw awful gas in there, it'd be fucking hilarious. Just all these lads. It's just, there's so much really funny people. That's like just good, really good fucking content. End of the day as well, the content's really fucking good, you know what I mean? It's gonna draw the attention and get the people. You put it on YouTube then, you get some more eyes, clips on TikTok, clips on Instagram. You really get people coming in to see it. It's like, oh crap, yeah, I'll go watch this next week and stuff like that. Get it going maybe twice a month, 3 times a month, and it's a fucking could take off. Like, it's good potential.
Yeah,
I'm just looking at that before we move on, but I won't read the whole thing or anything, but I'll explain it in a sense. Do you feel like, Garrett, and obviously to yourself, Aaron, do you actually feel like that could be a possibility where someone has said that Irish people seem to just like focus more working on other Irish content creators, like so working together and not branching out?
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's too many of that going on? Maybe that's the reason someone hasn't like escaped out, because like obviously Irish people working with other Irish content creators, it always works. They gel because they understand each other, they know the crack, you know, they just bounce off each other. But maybe that is another way of looking at it. Are we not actually going out there and be like grabbing a UK guy or grabbing an American guy and making a trio of it, like you were saying earlier, Aaron? If you put 3 of the fucking boys in a room or on a camera, who would you know?
Yeah,
you know,
I'm gonna quote Aaron. I'm gonna quote Aaron here. He already pretty much said this, like in terms of how you're snowballing. Like for example, with the e-dating, that you get to a stage where you're inviting people on from the UK or for the US, and that's where the brand grows. It's like you grow it on its home level. That's fine, but realistically, it has to be content that can be accessible to the US and the UK, and they can take that in and enjoy it. So realistically, in the Irish scene, I feel like it's very small, and it's very easy to message somebody, be like, here man, you want to do a stream or you want to do a video together, yada yada yada. And bear in mind now, not a lot of people do collaborations here as well. I'll just say that as well. It's very, very rare. You see a lot of creators collaborating on Twitch, never mind even on YouTube. But yeah, I feel like that is a lot of guys, and even myself, I'd be guilty of this as well, of getting other Irish streamers on and not looking to branch out. And I definitely feel like comfortability comes into it, like you said, Jenny, where you know you're going to get along with the guys and it's going to be grand, and it's kind of an easy thing to go to.
Amateur straight from the get-go. Like it like, look at it this way, right? Every single podcast we've done is with all these Irish guys, and that's what we were talking about. We won't go too much into it, but you know, we were talking, but every single person's come on, we just gel with it so quickly. Like it just becomes a comfortable, nice, flowing conversation, easy, because we all get it. Like we all understand each other. We're all looking and seeing the same stuff every day that, you know, Irish people see. You know what I mean? There's not a whole lot that goes on in Ireland. You know what I mean? If fucking something happens, we all know about it, and it's just the way it goes. But no, I definitely, as I said, it's definitely a comfortability level, Chris, 100%. And I feel like maybe that's the break point. That's maybe like, you know, grab a UK guy, grab a US guy, and come up with something.
Yeah, Aaron, what do you feel about it?
I agree. Because at the end of the day, if you jump at, like, if you find an American streamer, now, first of all, you got to have some sort of connection with them. You can't just find some man and just you guys have zero chemistry whatsoever, because it'll just be, streamer can pick that up. I've done it before. I've streamed with people and there's like zero chemistry, and it's like, this is just not fun. And then you're not having fun. The stream can pick up, you're not having fun. I'm lucky enough. I've also found really, really good. Like I stream with I probably stream with a lot of Americans more so actually. There's 2 guys in particular I always go with. One of them's actually Canadian. The other one's American. And we just have so much fun together. And it's just a really good dynamic, but it's important because at the end of the day, uh, like I said, his community is probably like 90% American, and both the communities probably 90% American. You know what I mean? And you're getting more eyes. People are like hearing you, they're seeing you having fun or having an issue. And they might, oh, I'll pop over, see what he's doing and whatnot. You know what I mean? You're getting more eyes, and you're like, oh, I kind of like this guy. I'll check him out more often, and so on, so on. Then you form kind of more relations with people, and it does happen, and it did happen because you know what I mean. There's people from my community that are in his now because he's like good for like same. It's kind of like more people from mine are in his. And then people from his are in mine. It's like a sharing kind of thing. And like, it only benefits both people. You know what I mean? One person's not going to suffer. Oh, you're not going to grab that guy's 100% community and then they're all going to come into yours. You know what I mean? And that's sometimes the fear in people. You know what I mean? Sometimes someone will see is like, oh, this guy's kind of a bit more entertaining than me if I stream with him. My community might go over to him. And kind of, and then, you know, it's a fair enough assessment, you know, it's a fair enough fear, and it's understandable as well. You know, when you built this thing, you're like, oh, fuck, like, this guy could fucking steal everything away from me, but you gotta just kind of be careful who you choose, and not be careful who you choose.
I feel like I have that with a guy, his name's that boy Taylor, but the problem is that two of us, our communities isn't big enough to have that kind of standby impact. Even though we gel so well, we get along so well, you know, and we just have proper banter and crack together. I think like as I was saying, like if he was bigger and I was bigger, that would be great for me. I could grab him and do so much with him, you know what I mean? And it could obviously work out for the both of us long term. But obviously you got to find someone that actually like is at a level, like, you know what I mean? There's got to be levels to this before you
well,
can
yeah,
do it, you know what I mean?
there's a business side to it as well. I mean, realistically, like, you know, obviously you can play with your viewers or your community and all, and that's grand. But if you're talking about collaborating, you know, by definition, you're talking about two people joining together and two communities joining together, essentially. So you got to be like, right,
similarity numbers.
Yeah, exactly. Who has similar numbers here? You know, are we going to gel? And finding somebody who's somewhat doing well and that's going to gel with you. I mean, that's a niche in itself. Realistically, when you're looking for that, it doesn't come easy. So, like you're saying, Cap, I'm sure you find it good when you're collaborating with guys even from the US and stuff, that if they are other streamers, that if you can find that balance, that it works really well.
It is, no, 1,000%. But that's the way I'm kind of lucky that like I've never actually messaged anybody going, hey, can we play some games together? It's just happened naturally just from playing with person. And he's like, oh, my friend wants to join in. Can he play with us? Like, yeah, no problem. He's like, he's another streamer. He comes in like, I fucking like this guy. Let's maybe me and him play together again. And that's actually how I've met these people. And that's how you usually do it. Because once you meet one, they have streamer friends, and then they bring them into that circle. Then you kind of get to know that person. Then you know, you got this like little pool of people that you can always constantly play with. It's like, they're good fun. And then you have like, then you got like a mix of a couple of communities, and it's kind of got to happen. There has to be a bit of a natural sense as well too, you know what I mean? It's kind of easy to just go message someone, go, hey, can I play with you? But as I said, it could be a fucking train wreck at the end of the day. So it is good sometimes when you just it happens naturally, but, and you kind of look for it. You do have to have a business head about you at the same time though, I totally agree. But yeah.
100%. Yeah, you've got to be, as Chris was saying, it's like there has to be that gel, that comfortability as well, because if you don't have, like, you can pull someone in and they can play with you, great, grand. Both could have good numbers, but it's not going to go anywhere if there's no chemistry and there's nothing happening in that sense. Like, you know what I mean? Any two Tom, Dick, and Harrys can game together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But are they going to draw attention? Are they going to be that duo? Or are they going to be them guys? You know, that's the way you got to look at it as well.
At the end of the day, if you're having fun, he's having fun, you're making really good content in the stream, like, this is fucking really fun, this is really enjoyable, the stream's going to get involved, they're going to love it as well, they can sense that energy, they're going to get it. Then you got content for your YouTube, you got content for your TikTok, you put that out there. You gotta look at everything from a wide perspective. It's not just a Twitch stream. It's like, this is fucking great content for anywhere else, and you make videos on it, clips. It's like, man, I got this content can now put out, and then there's a possibility of grabbing more people from the outside into here to see what we're going on and doing and things like that. That's the kind of, I mean, it's because at the end of the day, trying to grow on Twitch, it's like, you gotta be, as I said, Twitch is the hardest thing to grow on. You gotta be on the YouTube, you gotta be on the Instagram, you gotta be on the TikTok, you gotta hit every single thing. You gotta be posting regularly. You gotta be putting 5 to 7 TikToks out a week minimum. If you're full-time, if I was full-time, I'll be aiming for at least 2 or 3 YouTubes a week. If I was full-time, a week. I'll be trying my best to put them out. You know what I mean? That's for Twitch streamers. Now, if you're a YouTube creator just off its basis, then it's more emphasis on quality rather than quantity. But if you're a Twitch streamer, you know what I mean? You're kind of looking at more quantity than quality. Like a lot of Warzone streamers actually put out a video every single day. You know what I mean? It's just, it's not it's like, but it's generic. It's generic, but it works. It's just, I got a 20 kill, I got a 30 kill win using this gun. Is it the new meta? Question mark. Then the next day it's the exact same thing. I got 35 using this gun. Is it the new meta? Question mark. And it fucking works.
It is. It's everything. Using. Yeah, everything that you're doing, all like with all the platforms that you're hitting, it is. It's a basically what it is a full-time job with no guaranteed pay. That's literally what it is, and that's the big thing about it. It's like, not many people are in a position where they can say, right, I can smash content out for the next 6 months and see where it goes without saying, or without looking at yourself and saying, can I financially afford to be able to do this for 6 months? So that's the way you got to look at it as well. It's like, it's very hard for people. Like, it's great if you have, obviously if you grew up silver spoon fed and you got, credit cards behind you because you're laughing, you've an unlimited funding to do what the fuck you want and go for it. But then it's always the guys that have came up from fuck all, or they've had to grind their whole life to get to a point, that are the guys that want to do it. And that's what I feel like in the Irish content scene, is that we don't have them silver spoon fed guys that have that cash flow just to be able to fucking pour it out. And the guys that actually want to do it and give a fuck and put so many countless hours and time into it are the guys that have to make some sort of living or some sort of wage to keep themselves going.
Yeah. But the problem is, I think all these, there's a good few people out there full content creation. And I'm just like, it's disappointing when you see people who are full time and there's not much content going out. But I blame it on the fact that they're young and they don't have that motivation and drive. Like, you'll agree with this, me, Genesis. I don't know if, Gary, you'd be able to relate too much, but myself and Genesis, we both got kids. We both got like mortgages and whatnot. If I was to drop everything and go, I'm going full time, you know what I mean? You got to provide. You got to make sure you're the money. You know what I mean? So you're gonna be like, no, you're not gonna sit back in your couch watching Netflix. Any second spare time you get, you're gonna be like, I need to make content. I need to make sure I'm putting out as much as possible. I'm trying to get all eyes. You're gonna be just 100% focused and driven to ensuring that you're trying to make as much money and growing as possible, because you actually got like bills to pay. But if you ain't got bills to pay, it's hard if you're just like, I understand it. A lot of these content creators are just like 21, 22, 23, younger. So they don't have that drive, because like they're not like, like if I don't, I can just like sit back, relax. I don't put a YouTube video out this week. You know what I mean? It's not going to affect me. You know what I mean?
Don't, instead of doing Friday, Saturday, Sundays, like rocking out that content when weekends are popping, they go out with their friends, they're on the lash.
That's okay. They're young. You know what I mean?
That's where I think we don't have that guy.
We don't, but it's Gara's someone. I know Gara's very hard work. I'm not saying that because you're on the podcast, Gara. I got a lot of respect for you, because I know you do work a lot hard behind the scenes. You're doing a lot of stuff like it's not been released yet and whatnot and things like that. So like totally understand your part, but I just feel like if you literally have that drive behind you, even James J. Carr probably knows, he's got a farm as well. If you have that drive behind you, it's like, I need to provide, like I need to earn money, I need to grow, like, you know what I mean? Then you're really driven. You're like, oh, fuck, you know what I mean?
That's the thing. It's very hard because, like, as you were saying with the family thing, because, like, if I look at it, right, last month, I couldn't stream fuck all because of the simple fact of, obviously, Corona came into my house. All my family, like, everyone was sick. The missus and the two kids were sick for the week or so. Then I got it. So that killed off like 2 to 3 weeks of me being able to actually come on. You know what I mean? Yeah. What I want to do. And that in itself, like that 3-week period, that 3-week period is where I left GTA RP at the time. And I was back up to my 70, 80 viewers again. Yeah, back to where I wanted to be. And that 2 or 3 week period hit, it kills you. It kills you off. But there's nothing you can do, because you can't just say, oh, well, fuck the family, fuck the kids. You know,
of course.
I'll cough up on stream, don't care. I'm doing it. That's, so there's so many things to fall into the balance based off your lifestyle or what's going on in your life. You know what I mean? And it's very stressful. Like, I've been there where like it's like, you've got the family, you've got bills, you gotta provide, as you were saying, you gotta provide. And if you're not doing well, it's not the fact that it's demotivating in the sense of, not that you're not doing good content or you don't appreciate the people that are watching your shit, but it's very demotivating when you realize that you're not having a good month, in a say. If you have a bad month, that's the impact it has, because it's your month. It's kind of reflecting back on your family life, so it's definitely a clash. Now, I'm not using that as an excuse, you know what I mean? If you want something in life, no matter fucking what it is, and you're a very good example, Aaron, you go for it, you drive it, you just, you know what I mean? You drive through it. But there is guys out there that just, like, as I said, I would be nowhere near as motivated as you, Aaron, or Gara. I'm nowhere near as motivated and passionate driven as you are. Right, and that's my downfall.
It's why I was saying about Aaron. It's so impressive how he has this whole like lifestyle going on behind the scenes, and he's able to keep up the streaming. It's why I give you so much credit as a creator, man. I mean, your stream is already unbelievable, but the what you do to set that up is just incredible. Like, juggling your whole life.
Yeah, But that's what I mean. I see people like if I was only saying to myself, if I was only saying to my friends, I was like, if I was full time, I'd be still getting up. I'll still cheat as a 9 to 5. I'd be like 9 a. I'd be like probably like 9 a.m. to maybe like 1. I'd be like content creation, boom. Then it'd be like maybe like 1 till a certain time streaming, boom. So still doing me 8 hours and whatnot. And like still trying to get literally 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, content creation, stream. Just working, no spare time and all that jazz. Just trying to get as much stuff out as possible to ensure that I'm like literally doing the best I can and stuff like that. So like, because as I said, you got motivation. If you know you got mortgage pay, it's like shit, you got fire lit under you. But if you're only 21, you're still in your fucking mom and dad's gaff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's, you feel more inclined, like you can get away with it. It's like I can take it quiet. I can take a day off today. I'll fucking just go out.
I'll be fine.
You know what I mean? But that's understandable because there's no motivation there. And like it's there's some people do. Your man Tommy in it. You know what I mean? That's what separates the fucking top content creators from like just the mediocre ones. Because it's those people out there that have that motivation. They're like, no, I'm not going out today. I'm gonna stay in all day, edit for the next 8 hours through the night, blah blah blah. I'm just gonna keep doing that. That's those kids that are like fucking a different breed. And that's how those people like they are now really successful. That's the drive they had. And you need to have that drive in this game, this day and now, if you really, really want to break through and grow into this environment. Like I was only saying there, Gareth, sorry, I was only saying like this is like people out there. I was only saying like if I was going full time, I would have like a fire lit under my belly because obviously I got like money, I got family provide. But I was only saying like if you're 21, 22, 23, you're living at home, you don't really got bills, you can kind of say to yourself, I'm gonna take the next 2 days off, I'm gonna just chill, relax. You know what I mean? What I'm only saying is then you got these kids that are in the same environment, but they're like, no, I'm gonna work for the next, I'm gonna edit for the next 3 days straight, no days off, work all night, post out videos. They just sleep, eat, dream. That's all they goddamn think about. Like your man Tommy in it. Did you watch the Mr. Beast? Mr. Beast did a podcast with Joe Rogan.
I really wanted to listen to it. I heard it's supposed to be brilliant.
He just said he just watched YouTube all day. He said, I didn't do anything. I just watched YouTube. I got ideas. I made videos. I just wanted to make videos all the time. And that's the mentality you have to have if you want to be successful. Joe Rogan's like, if you've seen this movie, he's like, no. It's like, you haven't seen that movie? It's a really common movie as well. I can't remember what it was. It's like, no. It's like, what did you do? And he goes, I just watch YouTube. And he goes, every day I'll do a voice call. 3 of my friends will do like a voice call. And we'll talk and brainstorm to each other going, what can we do to like, what is the secret to a better thumbnail? What is better content? And they'll study and then they'll make videos and then they'll do calls again going, what did we learn? How can we improve? And then you got to become obsessed with it. You know what I mean? If you want to break through and become successful, you got to become fucking obsessed. When you become obsessed with something, you know what I mean? You don't want to take a day off. You feel bad. If you got to go to your fucking nanny's gaff to have hot chocolate, you're like, fuck, man. I don't want to go there. I want to make videos. You know what I mean? You got to be fucking obsessed with it.
No,
that's they're the people. But that's what you're coming against. That's the competition out there. That's because there is people out there doing that with that Mr. Beast mentality. He's not the only one. There's millions of people out there. Well, not millions, probably hundreds out there with that mentality of just work. And that's the type of content, like they're the people at the end of the day, they're going to make it. And that's the type of people you got to compare yourself to and go, am I working as hard as that person? You know what I mean? You can never, as I think, Gary, you said this the other day on your other podcast, you were saying, I'm never satisfied. You never sit down and with your cup of tea in one hand go, you know what? I'm happy with what I'm doing. You're always like, what can I do to be fucking better? Am I doing enough? No, I'm not doing enough. What could I do to make more? You know what I mean? And that's the mentality you need to do to get like bigger and more successful in this industry. It's just what it is. It's so fucking hard. Like,
yeah, so much what we chat about here as well, it even relates back to what we were saying earlier about, you know, how Irish creators aren't necessarily on the level of the UK and the US. Like, I feel like a lot of people who I've worked with lack a lot of discipline. And that's something as a creator you need. Like, I always tell people, if people are like, oh, how do you stream every single day, like Monday through Sunday? And it's like, once you give up that time of your day, there's no going back. It's like, that's time you don't have free anyways. And that's like basic level of discipline. Like, if you want it to be your job, you got to treat it like a job. You have to put in the hours, and those are the hours. There's no, oh, I might do something else today. Fuck that. You literally need to, whatever days you're supposed to commit to, you commit to that. You commit to the hours. And that'll reflect in your content. And you know, like you said there, even with the likes of Mr. Beast and so many other creators nowadays who are doing major bits on the likes of YouTube, adapting that mindset of, you know, watching, like, intaking so much content that you're figuring out how you can apply it and how it works for you and how it can improve your videos and your stuff. Like, that's all the learning curve. And even till this day, like as I said, I've been streaming 4 years. I am a baby to YouTube. I'm a baby to so much of this. I have so much to learn, and you got to have that mindset all the time. You got to be willing to learn. You got to be willing to adapt, and you got to be willing to to put in the time and the discipline, because if you lack any of those three things, you're never going to make it.
No, and look, it's okay if you just want to stream because you like it, you're having a bit of banter, that's perfectly normal. But it's like, if you want to really, really be successful, you want to make this your full-time job, oh my, you gotta fucking eat, sleep, drink, eat, shit, fucking content, and just learning and just thinking and never being satisfied.
Yeah.
Constantly thinking ideas. I'll be on walks sometimes, right? Me dog, I'm like, that's a fucking great idea. I just put the fucking thing on my phone, write it down, put it in a notepad. I have so many notes, it's all ideas and just stuff like that. But it's okay thinking about it, but then you gotta fucking implement it, you know what I mean? Then it's sitting down and going boom. But sometimes you might have a great idea, right? You might have a great idea. You fucking spend all night making this video, boom, you post it out. The video does fucking shit, yeah? So then people just give up. They're like, oh, that's a shit idea. But the idea might be great, but it might take a while for it to fucking grow and be good. You gotta give it a little bit of time as well. Maybe you gotta say, oh, for the next month, I might just try this. There's no one video isn't gonna like be the hit. You know what I mean? It might take the fourth or the fifth one to grasp people's attention or gets in the algorithm. Then people see that. Then they'll go back and the other videos will start growing based off that as well. I feel too many people as well. They make a good video and it's like they think it's a good video, it does shit. Like that fucking idea doesn't work. Boom, can it? What's the other idea? And it's trying to find what is, you know what I mean? It's just you gotta give something good. If you believe in the idea and you think this is a really fucking good idea, maybe you ask your friends, you gotta get opinions. Go, what do you think of this? Do you think it's a good idea? And they're like, no, yeah, it's good. That's unique. That's got potential. You do it and you give it a good old whack at it and just fucking see if it works out. But you gotta give it a good whack, good couple of videos and see. After a month, you evaluate, go, okay, fuck it. It's obviously not doing it. Maybe there's a reason. Then you go back to the drawing board and whatnot. But you gotta give someone good old try first before you really see if it's successful or not.
Yeah, I agree on that.
Yeah. No, you have to really come at it from a professional mindset, as I said. And once again, I still just feel like that's how it relates back to the Irish scene. I feel like when enough people adapt that mindset, Aaron, I feel like the scene will grow and there'll be a bit more likely comparisons between us and the likes of the UK or the US. Because right now we can't really do that. You know what I mean? Without talking about the guys the top of the game.
Great.
So it's kind of all towards the goal, I suppose, at the end of the day. But man, I think we could be chatting here all day about content. But what I love about that is it shows how passionate that all three of us are about it. Is that it's a flow conversation about content, and you can make this conversation 5 minutes, but I feel like all of us have our own kind of mindset and our own experience with content, and it's even great to hear your input on Aaron. Obviously, I know you've been in the game for a while, and you come from a scene of being an entertainer, so it's kind of cool to see what your opinion is on it all. And even I've learned some stuff even talking to you today, so it was really good to chat to you. But before we close up shop here, I wanted to run a quick fire round with you, Aaron. I thought it'd be fun to give you just 10 quick questions, see your answer on it, and we'll see how we go. So are you ready?
Hell yeah, let's do it. Last
right
round,
okay, so 5 seconds max, answer each question. Right, question number 1, best game ever made?
Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
Favorite cocktail?
Mojito.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Best movie of all time?
The New Guys or Other Guys.
Okay.
Guys,
yeah, it's a good one. Best creator to ever do it?
Oh fuck, Dr. D.
Worst subject for you at school?
Oh fuck, French.
Best TV show ever made?
Oh, South Park.
Mario.
Well, that's okay. We'll go maybe Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad was very good.
Good show. Mario or Sonic?
Mario.
Curry or gravy?
Oh, gravy.
And your pet peeve?
Fee.
Fee.
I was already saying about this. I was already talking about this before I ended my stream. I was like, why are people? I was like, there's OnlyFans out there of people that are buying pictures of feet. I'm like, who the fuck is buying pictures of fucking feet? There's people making millions of selling pictures of feet online. I was like, what the fuck, man? What's happening with the world?
Yeah, I don't get that at all. For me, like, I don't know when feet became trendy, but like, I don't understand it as well.
I'm not a full fetish kind of guy either.
No, I don't get it. But there's big money in that fucking industry, though, and it's creepy. I don't get it, but there is. Yeah, it's fucking weird, man.
Yeah, it is weird now. I wouldn't be a man for sucking balls now. Fuck that shit.
No. But listen, Aaron, I gotta say, it's been an absolute pleasure. From even the start where we found out about you getting into wrestling through Facebook, and seeing that to kind of your background and content and how you transformed, real entertainment into online entertainment. It was so fun chatting to you. I know Jenny's going to feel the same way. It was a great insight into your life, and I know a lot of the people in your community, and not only yours but even my community, will appreciate kind of seeing what Aaron is actually like.
Yeah. No, I really wanted to do it this way because, you know what I mean? If it came on gimmick, then you're kind of like trying to talk to the gimmick and then you're trying to give gimmicky answers back, you know what I mean? But I think it's just better for like the likes of a podcast to kind of do something like this, you know what I mean? It's more of a serious kind of thing and have a proper discussion. So yeah, no, it was the right idea. I kind of like this doing like this, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I feel like we could talk to you all day. We'll definitely have to get you back on again for the next season that we're doing this. It was really, really fun to chat to you. With that being said, we love to leave the last word with Genesis because he always has something interesting to say. So Genesis, my friend, take it away.
Can't lie. First podcast that I've actually been able to say he just held himself so incredibly well. Like, you know, a lot of the boys we've had on have said something that I could bounce off and all, but no, honestly, your input today and just having a chat with you, this is obviously the first time I spoke with you. It's been an absolute pleasure, and honestly, I wish you the best with everything you do. Whether it's work related or it's content related, I think you're on the right track and you're going to smash it. And honestly, pleasure, man. Thank you so much.
It's because I'm so old and wise.
It carries it so well.
Boomer squad.
Yeah,
I'm only 21, lads. Don't be capping.
But listen, guys, if you want to catch him, of course, you can find him over on Twitch, CaptainSexsea Live, and of course over on Twitter as well. But listen, thank you everybody for joining us. Really, really hope you enjoyed this podcast. I thought it was absolutely terrific. You can catch us, of course, over on Spotify or over on YouTube as well if you want to catch all the video feed. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Have a good one, guys. Good luck.